cursed spirits are going crazy inside the culling game, just killing people nonstop. It's just literally a battle royale in the current timeline. It's Fortnite. I mean, we get the Fortnite when Yuji jumps in and he just got off the battle bus and he's flying in. It's real. Hi, friends. Welcome to the Anime Book Club podcast. I'm your host, DJ Montague.
And I'm your host, Greg. And here we review anime from classics to brand new stuff, hidden gems, and controversial favorites.
You'll hear all of our hot takes, rants,
and genius observations. So thanks for tuning in, and buckle up because the episode starts now.
By the way, friends, these episodes contain spoilers, so be careful and don't ruin this anime for yourself. You've been warned. Greg, do you hold your breath before you start your intro?
No, not all the time. I was hoping I wouldn't be able to come back for air and then the episode would have ended. But that's not the case here on the Anime Book Club podcast. My name is Greg. Moving at 24 frames a second. Inverted spear of heavens in my pants. Culling game participant with 100 points. Creating a rule to only cast and fight with your butt. And purple. Big Smart Large Jesus. And I joined with my friend, my brother, in fact. We clap each other's cheeks. DJ, this is where you say your name.
Oh, fuck.
We clap each other's cheeks and switch positions.
That is not at all what Toto or Choso does. Greg, how dare you?
Where you say your name.
You blasphemous. I can't. That's unfair. Hi, I'm DJ Montague, apparently Greg's brother, who doesn't clap his cheeks, but would like to. Welcome to the show.
And today we are going to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen in general. And DJ Montague is going to educate me. He's going to learn me about the history, the lore, the story, the characters of JJK.
Hey, just so everyone's clear, we have watched all seasons together. Greg's watched season 1, season 2, and the first 8 episodes of season 3, and is still like, yo, what the fuck is going on? I'm so confused. And so we decided to put this together where I kind of explained some things that are happening in JJK that hopefully answer a lot of your questions for season 3.
Unlike the other things that I say about DJ Montague, about being JLPT N1 level Japanese speaker and knowing everything about Japanese culture and history, this is actually true. He is a subject matter expert of JJK, which is why we are going to have this episode.
Everything I say is going to get clipped, and then the JJK fandom is going to destroy me on Reddit. Because I don't know if you've been on Reddit, Greg. It is a scary place in the JJK area because, like, people's understanding of power scaling in JJK is far beyond like what normal comprehension is. And you've just set me up to get destroyed by people. So I'm really excited.
No. I mean, I think it's opposite because they're going to come destroy you, but then you would reverse destroy them.
Reverse curse technique.
Yeah. Domain expansion, wicker basket, simple domain, cursed energy. All right, here we go. So we, first of all, are going to start with my understanding of JJK to this point. In my layman's terms, in my limited brain capacity, I am going to recite what I know about JJK and how I understand the world. And then soon DJ Montague will realize that I'm understanding the world through the eyes and the brain of probably like a small rodent-sized dog. I'm going to embarrass myself, I'm sure. And here we go. So we're going to start, as DJ Montague said, I have seen season 1, season 2, and I'm up to date with season 3. I have not seen the movie. So the prequel movie, I am not familiar with what happens in it.
That's really important.
Yeah, so to like a certain extent, right? Because I think the movie came out in
Came out between season 1 and season 2.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of where like I just didn't watch it because I'm like, well, I watched season 1 and then season 2 came out, and then when season 2 came out, I was like on the Chainsaw Man train, but then I watched JJK anyway, and then my memories of Chainsaw Man and JJK have kind of got mixed.
They mind melded.
Yeah, and then season 3 is like, okay, I remember these characters and faces and stuff. This is cool. So everyone, please join me in reliving my memories of what I can remember about JJK.
Okay. All right.
So
a lot happens in the movie, by the way, in pertaining to this season.
Okay, well, you could help me understand that.
Yeah.
But we start off with young Large D. The year is 2020. And Jujutsu Kaisen has just come out, the box office breaking hit that took the world by storm, and I indulged. And from what I remember of season 1, basically it starts out like fucking Bleach. You have Itadori. He's like, hey guys, I'm just a regular old high school kid just doing backflips, but I'm a tough guy, like fucking hard-headed, and like all these other guys are like, man, I'm in a gang, and he's like, nah, I'll punch you. And then people get punched. Yuji's just like some goofy guy. He has classmates, I think. Isn't Megumi one of his classmates? Wasn't he in there? Okay, so he doesn't, right? So this is going off great so far. So he's just fucking hanging out. And for some reason, he like is walking home or some shit. And then there's like some curse stuff, and he goes to investigate like any fucking high school kid would, I suppose. And then doesn't he walk up there, and then he gets attacked by a spirit, and then that's when Megumi comes by? Is that what happens?
Kind of, yes,
okay.
Yes.
Oh, no, before that, didn't he go into, like, the occult room of the school and, like, steal the finger? Or, like, wasn't the finger at the fucking school, right?
The finger is near the school.
Okay, so anyway, like, fucking, he goes, and he gets fucked up, and then they're like, only way to save you is eat this finger or something?
Okay, he gets fucked up, and he's like something is calling him to the finger, and he's like, I'm gonna eat this finger. This is a great idea. It's filled with power. Or so I've been told. It's incredibly powerful. I'm gonna eat it, and then
he didn't eat it just out of curiosity. He ate it out of necessity, I thought.
Yes, he did eat it out of necessity. Yeah.
So he, for some reason, he gets attacked. Megumi comes and does his cone thing, and then like eats the spirit, and then he eats a finger for some reason. I think he was dying, or he had to.
He was getting squished.
Didn't Megumi get fucked up too? So he had to. Yeah,
Megumi was getting beat up. Yeah.
So then he eats the finger, and then he goes fucking Ichigo Bleach. Theme song rolls. He's just standing all cool, and then I think they like beat the demon, and then after that, or demon spirit, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Gojo rolls up, and he's just like, "Hey, yo, fucking crazy town up in here.
Yeah.
Do you want to hang out?" And he's like, sure. And then from there, they're like, hey, you ate finger of God Demon Man, and he has 20 fingers, but you ate one of them. It's up to the clans, and the clans are like, oh, let's just kill this dude because he's too dangerous.
Hold on. Really importantly, Gojo talks a bunch of shit to Sukuna while Sukuna is in Yuji's body. And he's like, hey, bro, I'll fuck you up. And Sukuna's like, I'm the greatest that's ever lived. I'll fuck you up. And he's like, nah. And then they fight, and Gojo beats the brakes off of him.
Well, he only had one finger, to be fair.
Yes, this does get important.
Okay, so then after that, that's when they were just like, oh, Yuji's too dangerous. We should just kill him. Everyone agree? They're like, yeah, kill that dude. But then Gojo, being like good old Kakashi Gojo sensei, is like, no, I'll take him under my wing, and he'll be a spirit hunter guy too. So then now Megumi is like, oh man, why do I gotta hang out with this loser? And then he's like, I'm gonna die, so I might as well do this. And then if I remember right, don't they visit some like manufacturing plant that got attacked by like some cursed spirit or some shit? And then like all the workers there died, and there was like a worker.
They're exercising, man. They're exercising the demons.
Yeah, there was some worker that was some other character's son or something, and then Yuji saw him, and he's like, well, that's fucking weird. Unfazed by like half of a body or whatever, if I remember right.
Yes.
Which I always thought was weird. That, if I was in high school and I walked into some place and they were just like half people, I think I'd be weirded out
Yuji's not afraid of blood
eating
for a
fingers
very specific reason.
Okay. Oh, Choso.
Nope.
Okay. So anyway.
I mean, kind of, but hold on. This is all very key because one thing gets said in season 3 so far that illuminates the entirety of JJK.
Yeah, I must have missed it, which is good why we're having this episode and why we're talking about it, because this is how I'm recalling 5-6 years ago of me watching season 1.
Do you want me to set the cog into the machine yet? Okay.
No, don't do it yet.
Okay.
So then after that, I guess Nobara, right, is introduced. And
yes.
She's just like, hey, yo, guys, what's up? Like, I'm like a tomboy, rough and tumble lady, if you know what I mean. So then they just have this wacky crew of Gojo, Yuji, Megumi, who like everyone thought he was like, oh man, look at that dark, tall, and handsome man. Like, I want him to fucking make a wolf and chase my rabbits. But then he just kind of sucked from what I remember in season 1.
Wait, Megumi sucked in season 1?
Yeah. The first time we see him, he just gets fucked up.
He does get fucked up. The second time he really does anything is versus they fight the special grade curse.
Yeah, and then domain expansions.
No. That's the third time we see Megumi fight.
Okay. So we have this rough and tumble crew, and then Gojo's at the helm, and Gojo's goofy, and then the crew is just exercising curses and fucking whatever. But then I think as the episodes go on in season 1, then you're introduced to Volcano Head Man.
Go.
There's some other dudes, I think, and then doesn't Gojo just like delete one of them?
Yes. After Toto and Yuji fight Hanami, which is the one that is like buff with the rose covered up, and you're getting into season 2. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They have like go ahead.
I'm gonna try to stick to season 1, what I can remember. Apparently, I'm messing up all over the place, but
I think you're mixing up the fight that Yuji and Nobara had with Choso's little brothers, the 2 other death paintings on the road.
No, that was season 1, right?
That was season 1.
Yeah. Okay.
But Jogo and Gojo fight, and Gojo beats the fucking Gojo on Volcano Head fight, and Gojo beats the shit out of him, right?
But that wasn't season 1?
That wasn't season 1. Yes.
Oh, okay. So I am track.
Oh, you said didn't he delete one of them? And I was thinking of Hanami when he fucking is in the train station in Shibuya.
Oh no, he fought one and just fucked him up, if I remember.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay. So then you have other characters. So they introduce like Robot Controller Man. Mm-hmm. And then now it's reminding me of like One Punch Man. So now you're introducing all these characters. You have Robot Man.
From the other school.
You have fucking guy who says shit and makes people do stuff.
Oh, you're talking about the guy with the cursed mouth.
Toge.
Yes.
Yeah, then you have Jogo, who's just kind of like fucking comic relief in season 1, I feel like. He doesn't really do anything besides get fucked up. Mm-hmm. You have all these other characters. I don't remember what they did or why they're there. And then at the end, that's when you're seeing like, oh man, more powerful people are coming out of the woodwork. And Yuji is like, oh, I'm a big dick puncher. But then when he punches the fucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure dancer dude or whatever, and like it doesn't work, and then you have to like, he's like straight out of fucking Dune or something like that, where like you can't punch too fast or it gets reversed, so you have to like slow down so you can pierce the fucking Dune armor. And then for some reason the only way they could kill the guy was because of Nobara's soul nails, which I don't even understand what they fucking do. They just glow blue when she hits people with nails, and everyone thinks she sucks, but apparently her ability is really good. And that's season 1. Do you have any gaps to fill in?
No, go ahead.
Then what I remember about season 2, you'll have to fill in all of this shit. So I'm just kind of doing general, barely functioning brain carpet bombing of my own warped summary of JJK. So then season 2, you had like the flashback part with Gojo and then other dude.
Geto.
Yeah, you had Gojo and Geto, and they were just mobbing out with their fucking uniforms, being all fucking big baller. And then this is the one with Toji. So Toji is in season 2, and then they're...
in the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning, right? So this is flashback time. Gojo and Geto, they're protecting this girl, and they're like high-fiving and stuff.
Rico.
And then they escort her to the tree, but then Toji Blaster.
Yes.
Am I correct? Okay.
Yes.
So Toji blasts. Before he blasts, doesn't Gojo tell Geto to like, oh, get down to the tree and get her to safety?
Yeah, because Gojo and Doji fight, and Toji fucks up Gojo, and it's the first time Gojo loses a fight.
Yeah, so Toji messed up Gojo, and he doesn't have cursed energy, right? He's like heaven's strength or whatever.
Heavenly restriction.
So he has the cool little centipede thing on his shoulder that spits out weapons for him and stuff. And then he like inverts his spear of heaven or something and starts fucking people up or something, right?
So the spear of inverted heaven cancels out cursed techniques.
So then Gojo loses. But then to like not die, he had to like purple or something, right?
He had to learn reverse curse technique. He did not know it before. So as to not die, he had to instantly learn reverse curse technique that moment, in which is extremely rare.
Yeah, you're going to have to explain all this shit later. Okay, so anyway, Gojo gets fucked up. Toji goes down, blasts girl. Geto is like, I use fucking shadow things or monsters or something. And then Geto gets fucked up by Toji. Toji just fucks everyone. Mm-hmm. And then after that, if I am remembering correctly, some shit happens and then Toji and Gojo fight again and then he purples him.
Yes.
And then now Toji's dead because he got purpled. And then we go back to the present.
Yes.
From there. And then now we're in the present. And then apparently you have Kenjaku, who's in Geto's body now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm going to do shit. And then he recruits.
Real quick. So this is where the movie fills in what happens with Geto between this first part of the season and the second part of the season. What happens in the movie is Yuta is a young boy who has an immense amount of cursed energy. It's absolutely fucking insane. More than anyone in the verse currently has.
You're going to have to explain all this again because like we have to go over the basics here. You're going to have to talk about cursed energy. You're going to have to talk about heavenly delusion pact. You're going to have to talk about like why everybody fucking sucks besides Gojo. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to have to go over all of that because you're saying words and I understand the words, but I don't know what they mean.
Yuta was originally meant to be the main character of this whole thing, but Gege, the author, was like, actually, Yuji is a way cooler character in my mind, and more stuff happens with him that's important than with Yuta. We'll follow Yuji.
It cuts back to the present, and then Kenjaku, who is in Geto's body, is like, I'm going to do some fucked up shit. Mm-hmm. And I think, like, over the course of this, to this point, like, Yuji's eaten some more fingers. I don't remember how many, but he has eaten multiple fingers.
One or two.
Didn't someone force feed him fingers?
They force feed him fingers in the middle of the Shibuya arc. They force feed him 10 fingers, and then Sukuna takes over. They have a deal. Sukuna and Yuji have a deal.
Geto's doing some, or Geto Kenjaku is doing like evil plan shit.
You just call him Kenjaku.
He recruits
here on out, you're good.
Jogo, Volcano Head man, and then now. Oh, then Mahito's hanging out too because he just touches people and then their faces explode. And then for some reason they're just like, didn't they put a barrier around Shibuya and now there's like curses everywhere and people are like random bystanders are dying or something. And then fucking like Yuji is having to fight people. He fights Choso and Choso is like, hey, yo, brother. And he's like, yup. And then fucking, who's the cheek clapper guy?
The cheek clapper guy, Todo?
Yeah, Todo. Okay, so Todo is like, oh yeah, we fought in season 1, Yuji, but now we're cool and we just, clap each other. And then like...
No. Wait, they did it as a school exhibition.
Oh, okay, sure.
They fight Hanami together. Toto's like, you're my brother, dude. And because he was like, what kind of girls do you like? And he's like, I like girls like Jennifer Lawrence. And Toto was like, that's my dog right there. That's my dog.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, yeah, Hanami was the other, like, plant dude, and he had a flower for an eye, and then and now he's dead. And then, because he got purpled. Yeah, and then Mahito's running around just distorting everyone, and they explode. Robot Man went Gundam
Mechamaru
fucking Wing Zero, but then he only had like 12 seconds to live because he had so much power. Now he's dead or something. And then Toto is clapping Yuji, and then Nanami is swinging around his thing, and yeah, the dude with the hand knife is fucking people up, but then Nanami grabs his ponytail and fucks him. And then after he gets fucked, Maharaga is just like, hey guys, what's going on? And then Maharaga comes out and everyone's like, oh shit, Maharaga, like that, it wasn't that Mangame's thing, like
Big Raga the Opstoppa.
Yeah. And then I think from there, doesn't Sukuna come out and just like, Maharaga, you're a bitch. And then he kind of fucks up Maharaga. And Joe goes like, I'm Volcano Man. And then he's like, yeah, you want to fucking go, Volcano Man? And then Volcano Man domain expansions, but then Sukuna domain expansions, and everyone's fucking expanding inside of each other. Yeah. And then, then he gets purpled by Sukuna or something. And then it cuts to Mahito, and then Nanami is like, Yuji, save yourself. And then Nanami gets fucking exploded with Mahito's hand exploder. Yeah. And then Nobara's like, hey, what's going on down here? I heard people were getting exploded. And then from there...
she said, can I get some?
Yeah, and then Mahito's like, oh yeah, man, you want some explosions? And then he touches her face, and then she gets her face exploded, and everyone thinks she's dead, but she's not dead. And then Toto...
She's very dead, Greg. Greg, she's dead.
All right, so Nobara's dead. Nanami's dead. Everyone got exploded. Wow, what a fucking... like unceremonious departure of that character. I mean, she was there for like season 1 and everyone was like jerking off, but now she's got her face exploded, so no more soul nails, I guess, which were useless anyway. And then fucking Mahito's like, man, this is crazy, I love blowing people up. And then Toto and Yuji are just clapping each other's cheeks and teleporting everywhere, and then everyone's black flashing, like this black flash, it's fucking power move, I guess, and everyone's just black flashing each other. And then Mahito gets black flashed like 40 times. And then Mahito's like, oh man, I got fucking black flashed so much. And then Kenjaku is like, hey Mahito, what's going on? Like fucking you got black flashed? He's like, yeah, man, they flashed me good. And then Kenjaku's like, okay, I don't need you anymore. And now he's dead. And then there was like for some reason, like, oh, it wasn't Sukuna's domain expansion that like fucking made a crater in the fucking city.
It literally obliterated everything in like a 200-yard range.
And then after that, if I remember right, Kenjaku's just like, cool guys, see you later. And then Yuta shows up with some other characters that were from the flashback. And he's like, hey guys, what's good? I got a sword. And then I think it ends season 2. And then season 3 starts with Yuji, who is now no longer a goofy guy. He's like stoic, non-killing, I don't want to kill people guy. And he has scars on his face and shit. And then Yuta's like...
When he got his cheek ripped open.
He's like, hey, there's curse stuff around. And Yuji's like, cool. And there's like a big flying curse guy. And then Yuta is like, hey, gee, I'm gonna kill you, wink. And then like kills him, not kills him, just so they could pretend he's dead because Gojo got sealed in season 2. I forgot about that.
Yes, that is a very big point. Yes.
Yeah. Gojo got sealed inside of the companion cube. And then that's when everyone was like, Gojo got sealed, and the clans are like, fuck. And okay, now season 3, Yuji just gets fucked by Yuta right off the bat, and then it's revealed that Yuta is working with them. Then we go into the culling game because we have to culling game Kenjaku, companion queue backdoor, save Gojo. Here's 4 flowcharts of exactly what's going on. And then now we are in the Tokyo colonies, and now there's some guy that just wears paper. There was an airplane head man and a helicopter girl. Oh, no, a jet girl and helicopter man.
Fuck.
There was Tengen, like they hung out for a second. Yeah, look at that novel that's on the fucking screen. Okay, so then Tengen's like, oh man, like if Kenjaku gets to me, then we're doomed. And then Kenjaku is like, I'm gonna make 12 portals and then ferry people across the sea. And then you have lawyer guy and he's swinging his gavel, and it's the same voice actor as Sakamoto from Sakamoto days. And okay, so I'm done. How's my summary?
Holy fuck, Greg. You remind me of how information dense JJK is when you talk about JJK. Do you see that picture? Greg, that's on the screen?
Sure. I don't know who that is.
That's Yuji's mom.
Oh, but Kenjaku was in Yuji's mom because that's the same scar that Geto has.
Kenjaku in season 3 says, hey, thank you for being nice to my son.
Yeah, I heard that. I didn't know what that fucking meant.
Kenjaku means Yuji.
Yeah, but who is he talking to?
He's talking to his old occult classmate from when they were like friends in the beginning of season 1.
Oh, yeah. I was like, who the fuck is this girl?
Yeah. It's, dude, this whole show, they don't hold your hand through anything, but they give you a lot of really cool information and bring you over this crazy overarching storyline.
Before you get into it, what would you rate my understanding and my summary of JJK?
A fucking 2, dude. Jesus Christ. You missed so much.
All right. So now I think this is where you can start. If you want to start at the movie, and then we can just work from earliest to latest, and you can explain what cursed energy is, what a domain expansion is, what a simple domain is, what Baki does, what just the whole thing. Just explain the whole like why curses don't matter anymore. Like they were a big thing in season 1.
They still matter.
Nobody cares about them.
They're coming back. Don't worry. I'll answer Mulgore's question real quick. Why can Yuji do consecutive black flashes without missing? Yuji's understanding of cursed energy accidentally, it's not of his doing. He's a byproduct of a lot of things over thousands of years being put in motion accidentally. That's really it. And so he's a product of the Jujutsu sorcery over 2,000 years. And he's incredibly accidentally strong.
Do you want to set some definitions first? Like, do you want to explain cursed energy, domain expansions, and anything else you feel is important to lay the foundation of understanding what JJK is?
So cursed energy is basically like negative emotions or like post-mortem energy that needs to go somewhere. People have it and can manipulate it pre-death with a lot of these characters. Obviously, we all have the Jujutsu sorcerers. Other people have it as well, like Higuruma, a prime example. He just recently got his powers 18 days ago when all of the culling games began. And he is one of the strongest characters because of like his domain and his manipulation of cursed energy. He's a savant, basically. The comedian, also same thing. Very much going to be a savant. So there always has to be some semblance of a balance between like the normal world, cursed energy, like all of it should be symbiotic.
Wait, so cursed energy is what again?
Negative emotions.
So I'm like, I'm mad and don't like
it's negative power, negative emotions. It's basically like an energy of like anger, fury. All of that negativity is encompassed in a power. And there are people that can manipulate it and have it within themselves and can continue to manipulate that power as well.
So anyone can do it.
Yes, basically. And that's the whole point of the show, is that Geto originally had the idea in JJK 0 that everyone or no one should be able to use cursed energy. There is no reason that all of this should exist. Kenjaku had been setting this exact idea in motion, realizes that someone also has a power that he needs and has the same ideals as he does, and takes over Geto. After Gojo literally kills his best friend, which is Geto, in the movie. So basically, you have the prequel where Geto and Gojo are like cool guys hanging out. I know this is not part of the explanation, but this will be part of it in the summary. But cool guys hanging out. They're having so much fun together. They're just trying to get the Star Plasma Vessel to Tengen so he can maintain barriers, keep doing his thing, keep the balance of the world going. Then Star Plasma Vessel gets shot. Toji is basically ruining all the plans of the quote-unquote good guys. Toji is not a medium. He just has 0 cursed energy. And because of the way Heavenly Pact works, that means he's just like incredibly like powerful, fast. He's just all of what he would be with cursed energy, he is without it. It's like going to the gym without going to the gym. It's like some dude's just naturally just a talented
So he's basically like Rock Lee, where he has no ninja powers. He's just physically strong.
Yes. Okay. And domain expansions are basically Bankai. What are we talking about here?
But then there's rules, isn't there?
There are rules. There are also, because the universe is like watching all of this happen, and there are rules to cursed energy to a certain extent. But basically you can make a deal with the universe. Like Nanami has a deal that says he has the 9 to 5 he is at 80% power from 9 o'clock till 5 p.m., and then he goes into overtime where he's at 120% power. So he's like an A grade sorcerer or a semi grade 1 sorcerer.
So this is like Chainsaw Man. When they make a pact with the devil, they have to trade something.
Yes.
Okay. And everyone has to do this? So anyone with a power has
Not
to
necessarily. You don't have to, but you can. Binding vow. So you basically make a rule for yourself to lose something and to gain something. And cursed energy has its own rules. So it's like, yeah, that's fine. I'll apply that to you. You now have that binding vow.
How do I contact the universe to make a deal?
You basically pray.
So I can be a cursed energy user, and I just am using my cursed energy. But that doesn't mean I have a pact with the universe. But I could if I wanted to.
Yes.
And if I pact with the universe, that basically adds rules on top of
your own
my own
pact,
abilities.
Or your own abilities, yes. But like characters like Miwa made a binding vow, and it was like, if I don't fucking hit this attack, you can take my sword, motherfucker. And then Kenjaku just like grabs that shit and snaps her sword, right? Like, her binding vow still stands. She can no longer swing a sword. That is done forever. She fucked up, basically. Like, that's how strong binding vows are.
Cool. It's like I went to the casino and I take my life savings and I put it all on fucking green. And I'm like, big money.
Yes.
It doesn't land on green. Then
gambling.
it's like, well, now I have nothing and I suck.
Yes, you're basically gambling with the universe. But, I mean, there are easy gambles like Nanami's, like, you take my 20% of my power and add it later on tonight.
Oh, so even at full power, he just gets exploded by Mahito because Mahito's better.
I think that in the world that JJK is in, they do a really good job of it being like showing exhaustion and impacting fights. Full power Gojo versus full power Toji. Toji gets absolutely fucking murdered. And Gojo does not learn reverse curse technique, because there's no need. Because he just absolutely fucking shits on him. But he was tired from being awake for 3 days, and whether or not Gojo is the greatest sorcerer of the current time, he's still human. So, all of this, there are binding vows, heavenly restrictions, there are rituals, there's cursed energy, there's like all these different moving parts of what makes JJK power scaled. So, you have the beginning, where all these things happen up to Tengen and Geto's death. And then you have the movie, which Yuta is the focus of.
Before you keep going, so domain expansions are bankais. Are those deals with the universe, or can you have a domain expansion without?
Domain expansions are very similar to bankais in that, like, we see them all the time as the viewer because they're exciting to see. But most people don't have them. Most people only have, like, simple domains. So basically, it's control over a space. It's complete control over a space. So like a domain expansion, like some people have, like Sukuna has like a nearly infinite range. It is based around him and moves with him technically. Where I don't know if it truly moves with him, but this is where it gets off the rails a little bit. But he has like the 200-yard range and it doesn't have a barrier. But the fish guy brings you into the fucking beach and gives you a bunch of piranhas and shit. Domain expansion is a surefire way to control all space and defeat your opponent. That's the whole point of a domain expansion.
Why can't I just leave? Why can't I just walk away?
It's a barrier of entry and exit. You cannot exit. But if somebody is nearby, they can be pulled in. Whereas like Sukuna's, you can exit and enter, but it's so big that it shouldn't matter. You should be dead.
So when I domain expansion, I power up.
You don't power up. You focus what is happening and guarantee that you are going to hit the person with whatever's in your domain. Whatever your power is. Jogo, it increases the heat in the area. It's not like his power is going higher. It's just he's guaranteed to hit you with the increased heat. You eventually just boil.
Okay. And then, so now a simple domain, it's a shorter
a protective
range.
area for just you mostly. Or like it's like a 3-foot range around you that you're concentrating your power so that you don't get hit by the thing inside of the domain. So simple domains are defensive. Domain expansions are usually completely offensive.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Do you hate that it makes sense?
when you use words like guarantee hit and shit, I know that they said it in the anime as well, but it makes it sound like, I don't know, like some fucking fighting game thing or something where like, okay,
It's an unblockable. It's literally, that's what it is, Greg. It's unblockables. Homeboy starts glowing red, and the only thing you can do is dodge or simple domain wicker basket.
But then Megumi domain expansion in season 2 or something, but his was like trash.
It is. The 10 Shadows technique is not, it's like the Zenin clan's combat to the Gojo clan. The Gojo clan is, they're so broken.
You're gonna have to review the clans now too, because now
Hey,
you're saying words. Just start. Just go. Just go.
Just start over. Just start over.
Yeah. Just delete everything we've said so far. And just start over.
Control, Alt, delete the whole conversation. Okay, so starts with the clans: the Gojo clan, the Kamo clan, and the Zenin clan. They are the 3 big clans that basically control Jujutsu society in the current iteration of the world. The Gojo clan and the Zenin clan have lasted a very, very long time. I don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure the Kamo clan started with the Kamo character that we will see soon. The Kamo family is basically the other clan, but they're not as important at all. Nobody gives a fuck. The main 2
so many
clans
characters
that we care
died
about
in season 2, but like I didn't even keep track because they were all useless. Like everyone's powers, like I don't know why they spend so much time showing like other people's powers, because compared to like others, they're just fucking useless.
Sometimes, yeah. Like guy with propeller head, like who gives a shit about that guy? So this all actually, good call, Greg, on the families, because this has a lot to do with the story anyway. Oji in the movie makes a deal with the Zenin clan and says, I will sell you my son, who we don't even know if his powers have manifested yet, but I just want to be set for life and I want him to have a good life. Toji, not a great dad, but made a better choice that potentially Megumi would have a better life with the Zenin clan and be trained correctly because they understand the 10 Shadows technique if he has it at that point, which they're not certain, which we find out he knows he does have the thing. Basically, Toji gets beaten by Gojo and with kind of his dying breath is like, will you take care of my son? And he's like, oh shit, you're part of the Zenin clan. Okay, I'll look for your son. Finds Megumi and is basically like, hey, I killed your dad. I'm supposed to take care of you. Sorry about that. Then takes care of Megumi and his sister. The deal that they're talking about is that deal that he made with Toji. Basically, Gojo is so powerful and so impactful in current society that whatever he says is the law, almost. The Zenin clan know that Megumi exists. They know that Toji had a son. Toji's brother is the guy with the big pink punches that he tries to kill Maki later on. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. He was on screen for like 2 seconds and now he's dead.
And then he got fucking murdered. And then he gets his head ripped off and then thrown into the fucking water.
Yeah.
That's Toji's brother. So
that sucks.
Well, it's all an allegory to Maki and Mai existing. So Maki and Mai were twins. The deal that they set for the Zenin clan has to do with Gojo. When Gojo gets sealed, the Zenin clan then take ownership over Megumi. And at that time...
Wait, so the Zenin clan made a deal with who?
With both Toji and then Gojo. So Toji made the deal first, and then Gojo intervenes and says, I'm going to take care of him. That deal is on hold unless I die or get sealed, or something happens to me. Then you guys get Megumi. So Toji's dead. You don't need to pay him the money, but I'm going to take Megumi. All right, then Jujutsu Kaisen 0 happens. Yuta, incredibly powerful. Geto has now kind of gone insane. Not Kenjaku, straight up Geto. And he's like, there needs to be a stop to this. Jujutsu Society has gone too far. We're gods in comparison. We either all need to be gods or no one needs to be gods. And Gojo agrees with him, but he thinks that no one should be gods. Like, no one should have this power. And then they originally thought that Gojo and Geto were going to switch spots. So Geto would be on the side of people that are like, well, no one needs to have this power. We need to get rid of this, because of his talk with Yuki Tsukumo, the girl that's the special grade with the black skin tight shirt, blonde hair. Because of Geto's talk with her, everybody was like, oh, wow, Geto's switching sides now. He's going to do his own thing. He's leaving Jujutsu Society, but then goes after Yuta because there's immense amounts of cursed energy, thinking that it's Rika. Rika is the thing that holds Yuji. You know, when Yuta and Yuji are fighting? Greg, hold on. I've got a screenshot of it.
Yeah.
Or do I? Yeah, that is Rika in the background. So the whole thing is, Yuta is so powerful, and basically he was in love with a girl as a kid. They were like 6 years old. They best friends. They were hanging out all the time. She runs out the street, gets hit by a car, and dies. Yuta is so powerful. This is like the whole point of the movie, or the spoiler of the movie, that he like keeps her cursed energy around as like a thing. It's got its own. It's Rika. It's got its own mind.
So it has its own consciousness, even though it's a cursed spirit.
It like holds things. It also can hold things for him. But it's like his love was so intense for Rika that it keeps her around. But everybody thought he was just being followed by a cursed spirit, which is not true. We find out. He's just so fucking powerful that he keeps her around. And he fights Geto, beats Geto's ass. Then Gojo comes and is like, wow, you got fucked up by like a first year. And he's like, will you just kill me? And Gojo's like, I'm going to kill you. And he's like, bro, we went through all this together. Will you at least curse me on the way out? Because he wants to come back and be able to continue to do this thing. If Gojo were to say, I curse you, you piece of shit, how fucking dare you do this? He would come back as a cursed spirit. He does not give him a ritual. He doesn't bury him. He just leaves his body there. And then Kenjaku finds out and grabs Geto's body, basically, and continues.
Okay, hold on. So Gojo, Geto are fighting. Gojo fucks him up.
No. They don't fight.
So Geto and Yuta fight, and then Yuta fucks him up.
Yeah.
And then Geto's like, kill me, but curse me.
To Gojo. Gojo shows up. Geto's
so
they have their final conversation.
Yuta fucks up Geto, and then Gojo just teleports in and is like, hey guys, you just killed my best friend.
Yeah, he's like, let me talk to him for a minute, and Yuta kind of leaves.
Okay, so then he's like, Gojo, I want you to curse me, because if you curse me, then I turned into a cursed spirit. And Gojo's like, nah, I no do that.
And he's like, basically, I forgive you, I relinquish you from your shit.
Okay, so then Geto's dead, and his body is just hanging out. And then Kenjaku is just like
finds his body.
What is Kenjaku and why does he take
Kenjaku? Kenjaku is basically a brain that can insert. I mean, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but in layman's terms, he's a brain that can insert himself into anyone. Anything that he wants, he retains the memories of. So he has the memories of the last 2,000 years. Basically, he's existed since the time, at least since the time of Sukuna.
So is he like Yumi from League of Legends? He's just a floating cat where if he's not attached to someone, like he's just weak as shit. But then if he attaches, now he's like invulnerable.
And he retains a lot of their powers, and he's just like a savant of barrier techniques and cursed energy in general.
Why does he stay with one body? Why couldn't he just like jump bodies?
It requires the person to either be dying or dead or like kind of let him in. But so Kenjaku is an insanely powerful sorcerer that has had this exact plan and been waiting for all of these things to fall into place at the exact time and enacting all of these things so that he can have the culling game. So this is like the big culmination of what's going on in Jujutsu Kaisen. Since he's able to live longer than, I mean, like most sorcerers, you could live for like 150 years and use reverse curse technique to heal you. Eventually you will die of old age. Kenjaku doesn't have that problem because he can inhabit other bodies and continue to live. And he maintains the memories and continues going. Kenjaku basically had gone to a lot of powerful sorcerers in history and said, hey, I have an idea for everyone to have powers. You like fighting. I want you to keep fighting, but I have an ultimate goal of everyone to have powers. And then also like the worry is that we'll have singularity. So that's what Tengen's worry is. Kenjaku's just basically like, fuck it. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? When everybody has powers and everybody has cursed energy and the world is in complete chaos and cursed energy is able to run free. So he goes to Sukuna and is like, hey, give me your fingers. I will place them, and when the time comes, you'll come back and be able to fight whoever you want. And Sukuna's like, I mean, cool. Sounds great.
Why doesn't Sukuna just... Because Sukuna did that so he basically goes dormant so he doesn't die of old age, or what?
Yes.
Okay.
Kenjaku's the one that set up the fingers.
Okay, so Kenjaku's deal with Sukuna... So Sukuna was like, the most powerful dude at that time.
He's the smartest dude. Sukuna is the most powerful. Kenjaku is, while very physically and like adept in cursed energy, he is not omnipotent, but he's just got this plan. Sukuna is basically the muscle, Kenjaku's the brains.
Okay, so basically Kenjaku was like, hey, in 2,000 years, I'm going to have all these strong people for you to fight. So give me your fingers so you go dormant, and then I will get someone to eat them someday, and you'll come back, and then you can fight all these strong people.
Literally, yes. He does the same with Hajime Kashimo, who is the lightning guy. We see him with the teal hair, and he has the 2 buns on his head, and there's a hole in a dude, and he's the first person to make a rule. Yeah. That is another person that Kenjaku, he was the strongest person in his era, and Kenjaku was like, I'll let you fight Sukuna if you let me reincarnate you in 2,000 years, or technically 1,600 years.
Okay, so where are we at in the timeline right now?
We are all over the place in the timeline.
Okay. Great.
I'm explaining what Kenjaku has done to like create this world. It's all orchestrated by him.
Kenjaku's the antagonist, but not necessarily quote unquote evil.
He is chaotic, neutral, incarnate.
Okay.
He just wants to do this to see what happens because it's beyond his scope of understanding. But Tengen, also being a being from at least 500 years ago that we know of, has had dealings with Kenjaku this entire time. So we as the viewer are meant to be confused by all of Kenjaku's relationships over time. He's been doing all this stuff in the shadows. Tengen's basically like,
I'm confused.
I'm fucking confused. If you look at it like this, Kenjaku is the orchestrator of all of these things happening, and there is a thread from everything that's happened to Kenjaku. You will be like, oh, okay, I see how it is. Kenjaku basically created the death paintings with the anticipation that someone along the lines will be able to house in their body Sukuna. Hashimo doesn't have that problem. Sukuna is so broadly powerful, and like also he has 20 fingers. He has 4 hands. Not a lot of other sorcerers have that. So he had to do something. So he's basically, from my understanding, Yuji is the closest thing to a heavenly pact and cursed energy user. He's incredibly physically fit, and I mean, he just like, he'd be fist fighting everybody, you know. Yuji likes to throw hands, and was a long line of these kids that Kenjaku has created, either by clapping cheeks or getting his cheeks clapped. And Yuji is the last one that is able to actually house Sukuna. All of them were supposed to do that too.
Wait, so you're telling me Kenjaku takes over the woman who would become Yuji's mom, lets some dude clap him, and then he gives birth to Yuji?
All of that happened. Yep.
And then from there he leaves that body and takes over Geto.
There's like a 12-year, or like there's like 12 to 14 years in between.
Sure. So when Kenjaku leaves a body, does that body like die?
No. Yuji's mom was dead.
Oh yeah, but Kenjaku took over her body.
Yes.
And then got his cheeks clapped.
Yes, by Yuji's dad.
So Yuji's dad basically banged a dead lady?
Yes.
And then Yuji came out. Does Yuji know this?
No, not yet. He's starting to put it together.
Okay, let's get back on timeline, because now I have like a bunch of other questions.
I have additional questions now. Okay, go for it. Hit me.
We got to get back on track. Okay, so you finished talking about the movie, right? So you went through, in chronological order.
Yes.
You went through the first half of season 2, went to the movie, because that's where the movie picks up. And then now we went through the movie.
Yes. In the timeline, it would be the beginning of season 1 when we meet Yuji.
With the movie, you ended with Yuta and Rika, and then Yuta killing Geto, Gojo being like, holla, and then Kenjaku takes over Geto's body, and that's end of the movie.
Yes. Gojo does not know about Kenjaku.
So he thinks Geto's dead.
He thinks Geto's dead, and that's why that scene where Gojo is going into the prison realm is so shocking for him. That was his best friend, and some might say his lover. We don't know. There's no confirmation on whether Gojo and Geto were, but Gojo does say that he loved Geto, and he doesn't specify like a brother. So they had some sort of relationship that is very impactful.
I ain't gonna quit you.
That was the scene that's like super impactful to what's going on and why Kenjaku's such a fucking piece of shit and fucks with Gojo. As he's being taken into the prison realm, he makes it seem like Geto's still in there somewhere. He's not. He's not.
Okay. So we've covered half of season 2 because that was like a flashback. We did the movie, which picks up from that first half of season 2. So now we were going into season 1 now.
Not a lot of stuff that happens that's really, truly hyper important. We meet the death paintings and like start to understand their manipulation of blood. That is a thing with all of the death paintings, including Yuji.
Okay, so the death paintings, and the reason why they call Yuji brother is because Kenjaku
They're
was
literally
all their dad.
Yes. Choso knows more of what's going on than Yuji does. Yuji's just kind of like, dude, I don't fucking get it. Let's just beat shit up. Because he's the youngest brother at this point, because everyone else is dead.
Hold on. So Choso's like, you're my brother because Kenjaku's our dad. But Choso's mom is someone different. Or was it the same? Oh, it doesn't matter. Kenjaku was part of his birth in some facet. Mm-hmm. So Kenjaku's been banging in different bodies for over 2,000 years.
Yes.
So does Choso know all of his brothers and sisters?
It's implied that he does because they're all their souls or all of their like whatever is in Tengen's realm under the Jujutsu High.
Okay.
So
cool.
Like he goes by that door and touches. You remember when they're going in to go to the Tomb of the Stars?
Yeah.
And he walks up to the door and he puts his arm on the door and he's like, I'll come back for you, brothers.
Yeah.
Right? They're all in there, but they're not alive. But Tengen understands. Tengen knows about the death paintings.
I don't know about the death paintings.
Know about the death paintings, and I'm the one watching it.
I understand like Choso, like the death paintings, and then all of his brothers, like in that season 1.
That's just what they're called.
Yeah, but so they're just a gang.
They're a gang of bros.
So I can just think of them as a gang. So when you say death paintings, it's literally just this group here, and they just mob it out.
Literally all vessels for Sukuna, or should have been.
Okay, so the death paintings are vessels for Sukuna.
They should have been,
but the reason why they're vessels for Sukuna is because Kenjaku banged a bunch.
Yes.
He was trying to make the vessel for Sukuna, so he had to bang for 2,000 years to make the perfect vessel, which was Yuji.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. All right, keep going.
Okay, so then he recruits the other curses, Jogo, Hanami, and Fish Guy, to get more fingers. The 2 girls that are killed by Sukuna. How did he lose the finger?
Hold on. How did he lose the fingers again? Because he was like,
lose the fingers. He basically, Sukuna was like, here's my power. Bring me back in the future. Okay, I put my trust in you.
So where did his fingers go?
All over Japan.
Yeah, but who put them there? Did he just explode and his fingers just landed? So once Yuji is there, why doesn't Kenjaku just like force feed him 20 fingers and call it good?
He's at 15 right now.
Yeah, but he knows where all the fingers are.
He does.
So why are we playing this game of finding fingers?
He still needs the rest of the culling game to happen so that the assimilation can happen.
So he's purposely delaying Sukuna's return until the right moment.
Because the fear is that his muscle will get out of control. Sukuna is still stronger than Kenjaku and will destroy the world, theoretically. Kenjaku is using Sukuna as a device still because he needs this massive amount of cursed energy here all at the same time in this exact moment for the culling game, all of these things to happen, for the assimilation to happen, and for humans to be able to get that cursed energy.
Okay.
So season 1 happens. It's kind of like a background of like Megami a little bit. Season 2 happening is incredibly important for the future of the show. The fight between Gojo and the extra curses, him getting exhausted and getting sealed, all of those things need to happen because Gojo is the difference in everything. He cannot exist. Every time Kenjaku's been stopped trying to do this before, it's been by a 6 Eyes user. 6 Eyes is the suppression of exerted cursed energy. Basically, he is infinitely able to use his powers because of the 6 Eyes. Now, there are other Gojo clan users of either the 6 Eyes or Limitless, Infinity, whatever you want to call it.
So, okay, so those are interchangeable. So Infinity, 6 Eyes, his finger thing,
those are
or
two
whatever.
different things. Two different things.
Okay.
So it is blue and red are the repulsion. It's like a black hole. There's a push and a pull. Okay. you can control space in such a fundamental way that you could push and pull anything. Limitless is the coverage of that over his body, and also the ability to do that outside of his body. So there are some Gojo clan users that have just Limitless, and there are some Gojo clan users that just have 6 eyes. So they can expend as much cursed energy as fucking humanly possible at any given time without any sort of drawback. Yuta kind of explains this in season 3. He is just cursed energy. Like, he is just such a pillar of cursed energy at all times. But he can expend his cursed energy. And reverse curse technique takes a lot of energy. Gojo, basically, with 6 eyes, would be able to do all of these things infinitely at all times, all of the time, because he's so fucking powerful. Having those 2 powers at the same time is a rarity in the Gojo clan, but Kenjaku has been stopped by 6 eyes before, so he's like, okay, I've literally killed Gojo clan babies, to stop them from being able to stop me in my plan. And they still, another 6 eyes will appear and stop me. So what do? I have to seal Gojo so that there is no another 6 eyes born, nothing. I can just continue this plan. And it's the perfect timeline of all this happening. Basically, he catches the Gojo clan off guard, seals Gojo in the prison realm, and then enacts the culling game because of Mahito. He needs Mahito as well. That's another key factor. He needs to be able to manipulate the soul. And Mahito is one of the first cursed spirits, which Geto can absorb cursed spirits. That's his power. He can eat them. And that's why he turns Mahito in a ball and fucking noms on him. And now he gains that ability and can summon Mahito to, if he wanted to, which he probably doesn't, but, and can manipulate souls. Greg, where are you at? Watching your face makes me happy with this.
Let's rewind a little bit. Okay, so we have Infinite, and that is the red and blue. Limitless, sorry, yes. Limitless. That's the red and blue.
Infinite Void is his domain expansion, but Limitless, I think, I'm pretty sure it's called Limitless, but either way,
sure.
Continue.
Okay, and then 6 eyes is basically you have infinite mana.
Yes. Yeah, so, exactly.
But then does it matter? Because like, is curse energy, should I think of curse energy as mana, or should I think of it as like...
Yes, from here on out, you should probably think of it as mana.
Okay, so it's not necessarily like more power. So if you have more cursed energy, that just means you have a bigger mana pool, so I could keep casting, but eventually I'm going to run out.
Yeah, great analogy.
So if Gojo had 1 mana, it doesn't matter, because 6 eyes allows him to constantly cast no matter what and never run out of mana.
Yes.
And then the Limitless or whatever is the red and blue push-pull, but it takes cursed energy to use, but since he has 6 eyes, it doesn't matter because he has unlimited mana.
And why his Limitless around his body, which is why people can't touch him, like the closer you get to the event horizon. Gojo is like literally a walking black hole. You will never reach the event horizon. You will never be able to touch Gojo. That is the whole deal. Inverted Spear of Heaven is able to stop his curse technique, but it was destroyed. That's the whole thing they're talking about with this whole plan. So like, Kenjaku theoretically could have gotten the Inverted Spear of Heaven and potentially killed Gojo, but probably still loses the fight because he's not able to stack up. The other is the Black Rope, which was destroyed. He controls space fundamentally to an infinite degree. Kirara has the ability with the stars. They can never intersect. The stars are so far apart. They will always be repulsed, or they have to go in a rallying order. You have to touch each star in order. It's like a fucking a million times version of that. He controls fundamental space around him.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Keep going.
The balance of power has shifted. Kenjaku can now enact everything and begins the culling game within like an hour.
Okay, so you said that Kenjaku needed Mahito because Mahito is a cursed spirit that can warp the soul. Okay, why does he need to warp souls? And why didn't he just have Mahito do it? Why did he raise Mahito and then eat him?
Because Mahito's 6 years old and is, again, an agent of chaos. He's going to do whatever he wants, and if he realizes the power that he has insane control. He has one of the strongest powers in the universe at this point. So, I mean, if he were to touch... Like, you see it in when Mahito first touches Yuji. And Sukuna's the one that appears, and Mahito's like, what the fuck is this? Like, and Sukuna's like, you fucking try and touch my soul, I will explode you. He's incredibly powerful, but still at the end of the day, he could potentially beat Sukuna. So he needs to be under control. This is all
then
potentially.
He couldn't beat
this is
Gojo
theoretically.
Because Gojo would just black hole him.
He would never be able to touch Gojo.
Yeah, okay. So why does Mahito need this power?
Why does Geto or
Kenjaku
need this power?
Why does Kenjaku need this power?
This is to manipulate the souls of humans to be able to assimilate with Tengen and either have infinite cursed energy around the world and everybody's sorcerers, or like be able to, he would be able to control everything as long as Gojo didn't exist.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so they begin the culling game, and the culling game rules are as such. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so where are we at in the timeline now?
We are at the end of season 2, at the beginning of season 3.
Did you want to cover anything else in season 2, like Maharaga or...
Oh, I did. Yes, you're right. Sorry. Maharaga is incredibly important to the storyline, and going forward, Maharaga is hyper important because Maharaga's ability to adapt is very similar to the inverted spear of heaven, where eventually Maharaga will win. As long as Maharaga is alive and not destroyed instantly, then Maharaga will win. Does Maharaga beat Gojo? No. Does Maharaga beat Sukuna at 15 fingers? We also see no. But it is the closest thing that the other clans have had to something that can combat Gojo with.
So Maharaga is a cursed spirit?
It's a Shikigami. So it is the 10th Shikigami, the strongest Shikigami. So I think it was like they said no other sorcerers have ever been able to beat Maharaga. The whole deal is that if you, as a 10 Shadows user, you have to beat the Shadows. You have to engage the Shadows in combat, either using just your raw strength or use the other 10 Shadows techniques against the next Shadow. So like the elephant's been beaten, the rabbits have been beaten, the Nue, the bird, has been beaten.
The wolf.
I'm trying to remember the others.
Wait, so how did they beat Maharaga then? If Maharaga is theoretically...
Sukuna has beaten Maharaga. He disintegrated Maharaga at this point.
So that means Megumi has access to Maharaga because...
Megumi does not have access to Maharaga. It is bound to the soul, to my understanding. So there's like something written on the soul, like says, this person has beaten Maharaga. Maharaga will listen to them.
So Maharaga will listen to Sukuna.
Yes.
Okay.
But will not listen to Megumi. But the whole plan was, Megumi was like, this is my trump card. I know I can't beat Maharaga. I know I'll never really be able to. But Sukuna is here. I have to be able to do something. I can summon Maharaga whenever I want. And he's like a we lose button.
Yeah.
I'm not losing. We're losing. So Sukuna sees this and is like, wow, that's incredibly insane. I didn't know this really existed, but I want to see what happens here because this thing is incredibly powerful. I can see that. And one of the things that starts happening is Maharaga starts adapting to human nature. And like as Maharaga continues to exist, you see in the fight in season 2 between Maharaga and Sukuna, Sukuna is doing movements and like throwing out dismantles and cleaves. I don't think he's thrown out dismantles yet, but cleaves and stuff. These are 2 different abilities, whatever. And cutting off Maharaga's limbs. And then Sukuna starts throwing feints and like fucking with Maharaga to see if Maharaga will like adapt. Maharaga only knows how to fight and it adapts as it goes. So at some point in Maharaga's weird fight only brain, it starts throwing punches that it knows will miss Sukuna, and Sukuna starts to realize that like this thing is just built to be a war machine. I will annihilate it, and then sets the next part of his plan in motion.
Okay, so Maharaga is defeated for now by Sukuna.
Yes.
So if Megumi ever summoned Maharaga again, then Sukuna would be able to control it?
Yes. I think so. I don't know if Maharagas are individual, like there's just like a surplus of them in the cursed realm, like fucking all hanging out, you know what I mean? So I would assume that Maharaga would be able to be controlled by Sukuna, but I think Megumi also realizes that. I don't think he's going to do it again. Yeah, okay, so Maharaga's constantly evolving, but anyway.
So are we going to see Maharaga again?
Yes.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. Sorry, friends.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. I love this shit, dude. I just want to say that talking about JJK at this degree, it makes me so happy. It makes me so happy.
I'm glad you're happy.
Because I know you're confused, Greg, and I'm sorry, because I feel like if people understand JJK like I understand JJK, they'd be like, dude, this shit is fucking fire.
It's making like more sense. And I guess I'm like a little sad that it has to come to this, where like I literally need someone to explain the story for me.
Greg, while you're watching other anime, like this is the thing, while you're watching other anime, I'll get notifications on Reddit of like, hey, this is a theory on Maharaga that was confirmed by Gege at this event, and I'll read through it. Like that's what I'm doing.
But that's what I mean. Like I'm not going to get the information through the story necessarily unless I'm like the elements are there, right? But then I don't get a confirmation of what it is unless Gege does a tour somewhere and then confirms a theory.
But that's like One Piece too.
Yeah.
Like One Piece does that shit all the time. Like,
but okay, so that's fine. Okay, Maharaga. A lot of other shit happened in season 2. Did you want to cover like any of these other characters that fucking died that no one cares about?
So Nobara's dead. Nanami's dead.
Yeah.
Nanami's soul was basically ripped apart. But Nanami was basically Yuji's surrogate father at this point.
Yeah.
He's spent about a year with Nanami, and Nanami is just like, awesome. Nobara, he spent a long time with as well. And basically, Yuji is watching his entire family get ripped apart by the impact of Sukuna, what is inside him. And Yuji is one of those people that I will take on everything as long as I can help the people around me, which is the exact opposite of what Sukuna is. I will destroy everything around me as long as it benefits me.
What's up with this whole thing in like beginning of season 3 where Yuji's like, I don't want to kill again?
He thinks that because he existed and didn't let the Jujutsu High kill him, that Sukuna's sins are his to carry. He is the burden. He's like that type of guy that like if Megumi like crashed his car, he'd be like, dude, if I didn't invite you out to go party, that would be my, like, you'd be fine right now. You'd have your car. Like, that's my fault. I'm sorry. That is all his mentality. He is always the problem and always the reason things are happening negatively in the world, but doesn't give himself leeway to have positivity in his life in that regard, but will try to remain positive, to be like a statue for his friends.
Okay.
Greg, you are Yuji.
No.
You will always
maybe because Yuji's like, I don't get it. And I'm like, me too.
You can say, bro. Yeah.
But okay.
Anyways.
Like, do you want to go over any other characters? Because I remember there was like a 24 frames a second guide.
Naobito Zenin is the leader of the Zenin clan. Basically, everybody was called to Shibuya because all of this shit's about to go down, and the barrier's been placed up and they're all trying to understand. Basically, it's an all call and both schools go because they don't know what's going on, and everybody gets called to Shibuya. The special grade curse that gets summoned then fights Maki, Megumi, Nanami, and Naobito, fucking frags them all. And then there is a person that I don't remember if she's the old lady's in the Zenin clan or not, but she can basically let a previous person exist in a body of someone nearby her, and then she commands them. They have all their powers, and that's when Toji comes back.
Yeah, she summoned Toji, right?
So Toji comes back for a very key purpose, because Toji never got to see Megumi grow up. But Toji's one of the strongest characters and one of the only ones that can stop or potentially stop Gojo, and has stopped Gojo in the past. So they summon Toji, to potentially fight on the side of neutrality. The cursed spirits are trying to get Gojo to do whatever the Kenjaku needs to be in that placement. Toji is summoned for like almost assurance so that they don't all get killed. Toji's so powerful that he maintains his memories and maintains himself when it's not supposed to be that, and then kills the old lady. And so Toji is now technically free. So he is not controlled by anyone. Toji then is like, fuck yeah, I'm going to find the strongest people here. This shit is wild. I haven't fought in years. It's going to be sick. Jumps down and starts beating all ass. Invades the simple domain of Megumi because he's like, I know there's somebody strong over here. And then he births himself in the simple domain and then fucks up Fish Dude. So they have the standoff. Toji looks at Megumi using all the 10 shadows, asks him, he's like, so what is your name? He says Fushiguro, and he's like, so you didn't take the Zenin clan name? And then Megumi's like, what the fuck do you mean by that? Like in his head. And then he takes that, whatever that like tonfa looking thing is called, that he fashioned into a spear, and kills himself.
I saw that, but so why does he kill himself?
Because he's like, I have nothing to live for. I just only have lived to fight. My son is not in the Zenin clan. He's fine. And Gojo obviously held up to his bargain. That's all he's cared about. And that's all he cared about in his dying breath. His goals are achieved. If he stays in the world, Toji knows that he is like just not fit to be here. He does not want to be who he is. He doesn't want to be a part of the drama. He doesn't want to be a part of anything. And if he continues to exist, he will always get pulled into it. So he's like, I'm out.
Okay.
He should have fucking stuck around, because fuck, dude, it gets so much worse.
All right. So some of these other characters in season 2, they were probably in season 1, but I don't remember any of them. Like Atsuya, who's the dude that never wanted to fight, I think. He was like walking around with Panda, and then he was just like, oh man,
Kusakabe.
there's fighting. Yeah.
Kusakabe, important in that he is the laziest grade 1 sorcerer, basically. He's not a big fan of fighting, but he is incredibly strong. But he is one of the creators of the simple domain. So he's basically the reason that current current era sorcerers can even fight against domain expansions.
So that's his contribution, like he doesn't do anything else?
Yeah. I mean, he knows a lot about cursed energy and stuff, but he becomes like, I mean, he's still a Jujutsu High teacher. He still needs to impart knowledge on the kids, right? So he's still going to be a part of the future of the story.
Okay, what about Mei?
Mei exists going forward, along with Wee Wee. They are in China right now. Oh, fuck. All right, minor sidebar. Miguel, the black guy that Gojo pieces up in the movie, which you didn't see, takes Yuta under his wing in Africa to find the black rope. That's what they're doing the whole entire time that the Shibuya arc is basically happening. Yuta is on his way back to Japan. Mei and Wee Wee are teleported out of the Sukuna situation to China. And basically, they're like, fuck, that was crazy, dude. And then she has sex with her little brother. Or her son. I don't fucking know. It's gross. Either way. Yeah, Mei and Wee Wee are...
Yeah, hold on. Okay, so they're in China and then come back to...
later
bang their brother.
No. That's... Mei and Wee Wee are related somehow, and I forget which one it is. Let's fucking look real quick. She's an older sister to Wee Wee, and she was Gojo and Geto's teacher.
So what's this about banging?
She eventually, I mean, it's implied in season 2 that she's naked in bed, and Wee Wee's like, "Hey, what's up? We okay?"
Yeah. Keep going. JJK, everybody. Here we go. You know what? I don't care about the other characters now. So.
I mean, so a lot of them. So okay, Miwa makes a binding vow and basically loses a lot of her powers. JJK Modulo is being released. And I do know a lot about JJK Modulo. Nishimiya is the one that was riding on the broom. She's still alive, and you see her...
What the fuck does she do? Because she was sad that one of the...
She basically is transporting people. That's her... She's not really all that strong, and she can't really do a whole lot, so she's just, like, transporting people around and trying to, like, help. Okay, the other part. So, Maki is assumed dead, but we see that Maki is brought back to be healed. Also, very important, Yuta and Maki have been friends for a very long time. They're in the same year of Jujutsu High. So they often look at each other like peers, even though she is considered like the bottom tier grade sorcerer because she's weak. She also has the heavenly restriction, but since her sister, her twin sister, Mai, exists, and in Jujutsu society, twins are considered one person. The fact that Mai has cursed energy at all holds Maki back from her power of the heavenly restriction. Now, if the rarity of the heavenly restriction existing is very, very high, so it's like 1 in a million type of thing. The fact that 2 Zenin clans people have had the heavenly restriction is fucking insane, and they are considered a disappointment because they're twins. They can never reach their full potential as long as both of them are alive at the same time. You saw how Mai could create like bullets and bullshit like that, and she was kind of lame. But Maki uses cursed tools to like beat fucking all cheeks. She's dope as fuck. She's the hot girl at school. Everybody loves her. And she's just like, all I want to do is like do my family proud and like be as strong as I possibly can.
By
so
killing all of them.
Well, she's in this terrible, terrible situation with the Zenin clan because they basically, everyone is a pawn to the Zenin clan. Everyone is used based on their power. It's the power scaling of the family. You can see it in when they explain in her episode. Ogi looks at Mai and Maki as the only reason he's not the head of the Zenin clan after Naobito dies. Naobito has inherited one of the Zenin clan's fabled curse techniques in the 24 frames. Naoya also knows how to do it. So he's incredibly strong. Naobito is incredibly strong. At least Naobito is at least a grade 1 sorcerer. I think Naoya is considered special grade or semi-special grade 1, whatever it is. Naoya is an absolute monster of a child, right? He is nepotism, he is old conservative ideals, he is sexism, he is racism, all in one character. Naobito has basically created a monster with this character. He only wants power, and he thinks he deserves all of it. Now, their curse technique isn't infallible, as we see, and that's why 10 Shadows is so strong, because 10 Shadows would be outside of the realm. But this is also a homage to old style of animation and new style of animation and how they're doing that. Naobito, as you could see in the past, he had the framework of whenever he used his power, it was the white scratches to simulate frames, whereas Naoya is the blue outlines. They do that for a lot of stuff nowadays. It's just like them paying homage to old animation. You good, Greg? You all right?
Yeah, I'm. Where are we at? We've gone through season 2. We've gone through the movie. We've gone through season 1. We're at season 3 now.
This was talking about Naoya, and we've talked a little bit about Choso and all this stuff. So they need the curse tools to potentially find an answer to getting Gojo out of the prison realm. They don't have the inverted spear of heaven. They only have Angel as the potential answer, but they still need the curse tools because a couple different things. So a lot of people's souls were put into cursed tools or some cursed object or whatever, like Sukuna's fingers, to be brought to the future. That's why so many cursed objects and tools exist now, is because Kenjaku has put them there so that when the culling games happen, everything gets summoned, and we have this insane culling games with immense amounts of cursed energy. Takaba is incredibly important for later on, but when this happens, all of Takaba's fucking storyline, Greg, you're gonna be like, what the fuck is this? What is this? But this is actually like a reference to comedians and like a lot of this is like JJK has to do with a lot of like conservatism culture in Japan and the destruction of the hierarchy. So like you look at they always say the big wigs at Jujutsu High, like why they're making these shitty decisions and you never see who they are. They're just basically saying this is the government, okay? They make these decisions for you and you just have to abide by them, okay? Just for future reference. And that's why everybody is going against the grain in Jujutsu sorcery. Go ahead.
Okay, so if I had to sum up JJK, the Culling Games Part 1, Kenjaku's win condition is if Gojo doesn't get out.
Yes.
But everyone else wants to get Gojo out because if Gojo's out, then Culling Games, or then like they stop Kenjaku. It doesn't necessarily solve the issue of the cursed energy, everyone being curse users, no one being curse users. But if they get Gojo out now, then the current...
They have a better chance of stopping it. Their chances go from a 1 in a million to like a 50-50.
So basically, the flow charts are like, get Gojo out, and if we don't, then Kenjaku makes everyone curse users, and it goes crazy, more or less.
Yes. But Takaba and Higuruma also are incredibly important because they are anomalies in the situation. Because all this cursed energy is here now in this timeline, and people are dying left and right, cursed energy is going insane. People have regrets, people have like frustrations, and they're dying unnecessarily. It's just all to create this chaos of cursed energy. So other people are getting powers that didn't have before. They're getting like their mana's filling up. and they're now like, oh shit, I have these abilities.
So Higuruma as a character, the reason why he's so powerful is because he was that lawyer and just fought for...
He has an insane sense of justice.
Okay.
He is Law and Order, the show incarnate.
Okay.
Hey, hold on. Let's do the Maki Mai thing.
Yeah,
so Ogi says that his daughters are the reason that he's not the new head of the clan, because he's a failure for creating failure daughters, even though it's because he's just not that strong. He refuses to take anything on himself and realize the world that he has created is a product of his own design, which is a reference to old thought processes. Blame everything else for why the world is terrible, except no blame of yourself. Mai does not have the want or care to become stronger, but recognizes that Maki does, sacrifices herself to create the final curse tool, which is the sword that Maki then has.
Okay, what was that whole scene? So the Ogi is just like, Maki, you suck, and then he cuts her up with his long spirit sword.
Yeah, his curse technique is basically like, what's his name from... No. What's his name from Yu Yu Hakusho? But he can create cursed energy in the form of a beam.
Yeah.
And the sword. Anyways, so he basically makes lightsabers if he wants.
He tosses them in the dungeon where cursed spirits are going to eat them or something, right?
Yes.
But then Mai is like, okay, Maki, let's hang out. And then she takes her to the spirit realm, which is a beach, which I assume has some sort of...
It is the crossover. They're talking about, like, how earlier in the show they talked about the crossover realm, where it's almost like a reference to Japan saying, like, I'm crossing over to the other side. I'm going into the water.
Crossroads.
Yeah, see you at the crossroads so you won't be lonely.
That wasn't like an ability. They were both...
No. That's a vision that they're both having with each other. They're basically like... It's not a domain expansion. It's basically like she's talking to her, and they have this shared vision of this thing happening because they're like connected because they're twins.
But then my hands are like a wheat thin, and then it's gone, and then that's symbolizing her
giving her the tool, the curse tool that she can make.
Yeah, so the wheat thin, there it is.
She is drained of energy. She's done. She is dead. She is dying. She's handing her sister her flower.
What significance is that?
So she is no longer stopping Maki from being like Toji with the heavenly restriction.
Does this wheat thing or flour or whatever the fuck it is? We haven't seen this earlier in the story, right? This is something they just brought up.
This doesn't have anything to do with the show itself. It has more to do with, I would assume, Japanese culture, where the growth of something usually comes from the production of wheat and rice.
I just wanted to know if I missed this, because this looked pretty significant, but I'm like, I don't remember the handing over of the box of wheat thins.
It's her expending and saying, I'm done, you take over from now. And she's like, destroy it all. And she gives her the sword. Maya's dead next to her, and then homeboy gets his fucking dome slashed off. He gone. And then the Kakuru unit is like...
Yeah, a bunch of nobodies that are losers, and they all die.
The thing. They're losers and nobodies. Like, this could have been a whole movie, but I think they needed to move on. And I think them putting it as a full episode, as like a homage to Maki and Mai, is really fucking well done. I thought this episode was so fucking cool, because a lot of what ends up happening in the real world is that Gege has been demonized for his portrayal of female characters. Mei's a piece of shit. Nobara is fucking domed and gone. Miwa, everybody loved her, and then Miwa gets fucking handled instantaneously. So he had set this up, but I think that before this was actually produced, I mean, Maki basically gets domed. Mai basically does nothing, right? So he wanted all of the chaff to go for the storyline, and then had Maki, and he was like, this is really important to the future. We basically have Toji 2.0. She goes absolutely ape shit, kills fucking everybody in one of the... I fucking...
It's just Kill Bill.
It is Kill Bill. It's obviously a lot of homage to animation and stories in general.
But so we see three guys here that are completely fucking useless. Everyone
semi-grade
dies.
ones. They're a point to show how powerful Maki could have been if Mai didn't exist. And also to show how powerful Maki's sword is as well. So now we might have an answer. we might have an answer to what could be the Culling Games. We don't know the powers of the sword that Maya has created, but it's implied that it's on the level of the Heavenly Inverted Spear. So all these guys get fucking rickrolled. This kid basically has a cool power to a certain extent that could have been useful, but he's like similar to Toge, where what he sees he can hold, right? But he's not strong enough to really control it, and can't control Maki, and she just fucking blows up his eyeballs via his curse power, which is hilarious. And then we see a glimpse of Toji, and then it's assumed that Maki now has the role of Toji in the storyline, but is on the side of our heroes. This scene is important for Japanese culture, as I've found out and read about. She assumes a sumo stance. Women are not allowed to ever sumo wrestle. It is just not a sport that women are allowed to be in. And you can assume, because of how important sumo wrestling is to Japanese culture, that some women would have wanted to try, at least. And so they give her this moment of destroying a patriarchal society that is completely controlled by men and has torn everything away from her and given her the power to do so. She is the strength of women in current era Japan. She's not beautiful anymore. She's had everything of her value of what she has given to society stripped away, and still is able to destroy everything from the inside.
Oh, Maki's pretty hot.
I think Maki's great. I'm literally wearing the shirt right now.
Oh, damn. Oh, I guess I'll segue, because like you can get a shirt just like Hot Maki, past and future Maki, here at it-aesthetics.com, where you can save 10% off of your order by using promo code TABC10 at checkout, or TABC5 for a stacking $5 off coupon on any other deals they are running. Now, if you want to celebrate the living characters such as Maki, or the dead characters such as Nanami,
True.
visit it-aesthetics.com and use promo code TABC10 or TABC5 at checkout. This is my value for the episode. I don't know anything.
Okay, real quick, I just want to say Nanami's sacrifice was in vain. Originally, Gege was reading Attack on Titan and got amped up while he was creating JJK. He said originally Nanami was only supposed to lose an arm, but he got a little carried away reading Attack on Titan. I do think that it's more impactful that Nanami dies, obviously, and greatly impactful for Yuji's storyline going forward, but he was only supposed to lose an arm. Our boy died. Anyways, so Naoya has his ability of the 24 frames a second. What they talk about with this, just in general, to give you like the long and short of it, is that he can continuously amplify. So if he's running at like 10 miles an hour, the next time he amplifies and uses his power, he can then double that and run at 25 miles an hour or 20 miles an hour, whatever it is, and continuously like exponentially grow in speed as long as he is continuously moving at that speed. Once he stops and his power stops, he then has to restart and keep amplifying his power again. So that was the whole thing with this, is that he's going so fast at this point, running around mountains, he's controlling speed at an insane degree, but Maki's just like, shut the fuck up, and crushes his fucking skull.
Just a bunch of nobodies.
Mortal Kombat,
yeah.
Fucking, while Naoya is dead, it's incredibly important for this scene where Maki Amai's mother kills Naoya as he is cursing everything.
I don't know. This just reminded me of kind of like old school Japanese like samurai movies or something, where you have like the super stuck up leader of the house, and then they get knocked down a bunch of pegs, and then like the weaker
killed
people,
by the lowest person on the totem pole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is exactly what this is. Naoya literally couldn't use his powers because he was fucking jacked up, and then killed by the lowest person on the totem pole after. I mean, he probably treated... I mean, he literally... It's implied that he sexually assaulted Mai and potentially Maki as well growing up. So he's just a monster. So they talk about how then Maki then goes and basically dismantles the entire Zenin clan completely, other than Megami. Megami is the leader of a dead clan. Literally. Everyone.
Except Maki. There's two people in the clan.
Yes. There's Maki and Megami at this point. Then we go back in time, and Principal Yaga is the first person in the entire Jujutsu Sorcery universe that has been able to impart cursed energy and give it sentience. He talks about how he created Panda, and how he also created this other little guy that this is Kusakabe's sister, and all of her children have passed away. And Kusakabe, she's vegetable state basically, and Kusakabe just wants her to be able to like release some of that. And Principal Yaga, loving everyone that basically is a teacher or works with Jujutsu High or the kids, he creates something that has the voice of her son. I don't think it was Yaga's son. I don't think it has anything to do with that. It's just a gift to Kusakabe and his sister. But this is the theoretical, if Yaga and Jujutsu High has kept Yaga alive because they want to know how he does this and how his curse technique works. They understand how he can create dolls to a certain extent, but he doesn't understand how they can, the society doesn't understand how they can get sentience. And if they knew this power, they would be able to create an artificial army, Clone Wars style. So this is, I think, I forget what his involvement is, but he works for Jujutsu High upper, like
he's
the
basically
board
the
of
dude from
directors.
Bleach.
Yes, he kind of, but he works for the board of directors.
He originally wanted Yuji killed.
Yes, he is the arm of the board of directors. He's incredibly powerful, but Yaga doesn't fight back here. As you can see, there are no bruises on this guy. He instantly gets fragged and lets it happen. And then he's like, you could have just lived if you told me. And then he's like, here's how it works. Basically cursing him with the information, releasing him from all burdens. Because if he had the burden, he would have been turned into a cursed spirit, most likely after this death. Panda finds out what's happening. Panda still has emotion. Panda hugs him. Very sad moment.
So he can make cursed energy dolls with sentience. So how did he do it? I mean, I read it, but I'm kind of like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
It's like he created three souls inhabiting one body, and they all work as a symbiotic, like they regenerate each other. So he needed 3 because 2 wasn't enough, I guess, or whatever it is. I don't really, like, it's not like a fully understood thing, but it's also not really necessary. It's just to explain the implications of how much Jujutsu High doesn't know about what's going on at the high school itself, how much power they want to assert because of, like, artistic and creative expression should be known, quantified, and controlled. And Yaga doesn't want that. And most people that go to Jujutsu High don't want that either. All of these people are creating new powers in the world, and everyone wants to quantify them and have a hierarchy. And they're not used for what they are. They're used as a tool for what they can do for society. And that's where this is all breaking down here. Is like, Jujutsu society is collapsing. The only thing that is right now that is left is the kids trying to save Gojo, Kenjaku trying to destroy the world, and the higher-ups at Jujutsu, which is basically like the Jujutsu government, trying to suppress information to the public and destroy any sort of expression that isn't sanctioned by them. Okay? That makes sense?
Yeah.
They're saying that everything that has happened, including Kenjaku, is a violation of Jujutsu society. And we've seen that in this right here. Kenjaku does a mass extinction level event with the first barrier that they put up to destroy Shibuya, and then the next 10 barriers that he puts up with the culling games.
He put up the first barrier, but what did that do?
That was to get Gojo.
So he put up the barrier in Shibuya to seal Gojo.
Yes. Also, Malgor asks, so he's the good version of Mahito in a sense, to a certain degree. I don't think he can control what the soul looks like. I just think that he can control where the souls go and then teach the imparted new sentient thing because he's, he wants to be a teacher.
He's using 3 souls to create one new life that basically starts over.
Yes. He can't take 3 dead bodies and then make the same person out of one of those 3. He can create a new person that has its own sentience and its own decision-making and its own regenerative cursed energy.
Okay. So he's using 3 souls as a power source to power something new.
Yes.
Okay. So like the memories and everything of those souls no longer
gone. It's basically explaining how new people exist. We are not our parents. We are something else. And Yaga is an extension of that idea. I am not my father. I'm not my mother. I am a mixture of them. And I have my own thought process. That's the 3 souls in tandem, so to speak. Make sense?
I'm good.
Okay.
Tracking.
Okay. Then we have Kinji Hikari. and Kirara. Now, they are third year that have been expelled for non-traditional relationships and non-traditional powers. Technically, Kirara is trans, but when they write it for the story, when they write it in the manga, like they show it in the translation, they say they, them pronouns. But when they write it in the manga, Kirara is claimed as a her, even though they say Kirara was born as a he. And so this is like a way for people to just like read this and not demonize trans people. A lot of what Kirara's storyline is based on that. Just being a strong character that exists in this world and is breaking social norms because they were expelled out of a traditional conservative society. And Hikari is like a gambling addict. He does not have a traditional power like Gojo's so cool all the time. But this guy's like rock and roll. He's like the old man, but on the other side of it. He is developing a new technique that isn't seen before, and it's just based on his passion for fucking pachinko and music and fighting. He's a psycho. And they don't like that, so they kick him out of society because he and Kirara are in a relationship, a non-traditional relationship. A lot of people in the world exist near Gojo's level. Yuta, Hikari, now Hashimo, Sukuna, Higuruma, Takaba are all up there, but they're all spread out in this weird way where they're either not cultivated, not in the society, not treated as normal by jujutsu rules. Okay? So Yuta is a device that Jujutsu High is trying to use because he's so powerful and has so much cursed energy. Kari has the same level of cursed energy, and it with development and cultivation and treated as a normal person, he could be at the same level of Gojo or beyond. So we go through the fight club where they're trying to get to Hikari. Not a lot of this matters in the grand scheme of things because of Hikari, obviously, we see that he meets with Yuji, sees that Yuji has a different kind of passion than he does, and then decides to align with Jujutsu High's kids that are going against the grain. Basically, all of them have been sentenced to death. And Jujutsu High is doing nothing about this. Jujutsu High, potentially, we don't know for a fact, but Jujutsu High could have been watching Kenjaku and watching all of this happen and just been like, well, there's not a whole lot we could do about it without rules and regulations. So he's just working outside of our norms and we won't stop it. And there has to be something else that stops this mass extinction level event of the Culling Games. And the kids decide to do it themselves.
So his power is basically passion, it seems like. And I wonder, how did he develop that? Did he develop the passion via ingesting kissy passion from Gamersups?
Insane work!
Where Hikari went to gamersups.gg to get his fill of kissy passion that he used promo code DJ Montague at checkout for 10% off of his order, where he used that extra 10% to gamble more on his fight club. And you too can gain Gojo level Yuta cursed energy levels by going to gamersups.gg and using promo code DJ Montague at checkout for some kissy passion. That's all I got, dude.
That was so good, Greg. That was so good. So,
sorry, continue.
A couple things. Akari ends up becoming one of like a fan favorite character and has a fight, possibly like, I just want to say, has a fight probably like season 5, season 6 that the manga kind of passes over, that I really hope, like with how popular the show is, they really get into, because it's going to be sick as fuck. It's at like the apex of the entire storyline. It's fucking awesome. But they explain Kirara's powers and how really, Kirara just wants to live. Like, Kirara's not trying to upstage Jujutsu High and Jujutsu Society. They and Hikari just want to, like, survive by their own merits and their own relationship. They are drawn to Hikari. They have a really good relationship by any standards other than, traditional. So anyways, they finally get Hikari on the team. And Hashimo, then we have the first edition of a rule. Hashimo uses this for his own selfish wants because he wants to know where Sukuna is so that he could basically go, hey, I'm going to create another rule where we could transfer colonies because all of these colonies are set in stone. All the 10 barriers are there. Kashimo, right here, Greg.
Yep.
The one that put the hole in the dude.
Yeah. Yeah, because like he was introduced. So I'm just like, who the fuck is this guy?
This guy was 400 years after Sukuna's reign. Kashimo had his. So he basically did what Sukuna did, which was travel the world and fight the strongest people for his own selfish ideals. Then we have a little flashback to when the barriers were created 18 days ago, as we know now, where Kenjaku talks to one of Yuji's old friends and says, thanks for being nice to my son. We are given a moment of like clarity. Like Kenjaku isn't just a demonic force for destruction. He does have some semblance of like familiar relations. And while it is a device for what he wants in the future, he still has like some semblance of, hey, thank you for helping me in my plans. Because
what's the significance of this part? So he's walking her, but then like this all
he's
crazy.
Walking her out of the barrier.
But why are all these cursed spirits here?
This is inside the culling game. This is inside the barrier. This is to symbolize they're on the other side of the barrier, basically, with the line. You can see the fence. Inside is absolute destruction. Cursed spirits are going fucking crazy inside the culling game, just killing people nonstop. The cursed spirits don't have an understanding of the point structure, the rules of the game. They're just there to kill. It's just literally a battle royale in the current timeline. It's Fortnite. I mean, we get the Fortnite fucking when Yuji jumps in and he's fucking, he just got off the battle bus and he's flying in. It's real. We get the introduction to our characters of, what is it, Kogane, I think it is. And then we find out about the back of there's a back door to the prison realm. They will explain this later. Time works differently in the prison realm.
So Gojo is in the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yes. 100%. Okay. But he is also being like, he is just there. Like the prison realm isn't like an open air prison. It is a confined space. It is very small and he is constantly being crushed. If he was not Gojo, he dies. The prison realm just smushes his ass. But since he has the limitless power, he is sealed. Yes. Okay.
You still have to explain purple. I keep saying it as like I know what
purple is just the combination of attraction and repulsion together. It is that like black hole energy manifest.
Well, why is that important?
It's a multiplication of red and blue. So, I mean, its destructive power is so ridiculous. It's on the level of Dismantle, which is Sukuna's power, if not stronger.
Okay. I don't know if that helped, but keep going.
So we learn that Sukuna is technically a participant through Yuji, but he's not on the list. So Kashimo cannot go just find Yuji. He has to find out that Yuji is the vessel of Sukuna and adds the rule. This is all just a lead up to them trying to find Angel as well. So they need Higuruma because he has the ability to create a rule. They don't know what Angel's name is, so it's not on the list. Angel is, I mean, theoretically, you see by the angelic wings, the hair looks like a good person. Usually they have like defining features like the snake mouth and all that stuff that are like evil or villainry. So we as the viewer are like, okay, Angel's supposed to be on the side of good.
I don't know about that. I mean, I'm conditioned from Chainsaw Man because they have an angel in Chainsaw Man that just sucks everyone's life out or whatever.
Just, yeah, and slurps and glurps on them. You see how, hopefully I've explained it well enough that you could see how all of these things were set in stone by Kenjaku over the course of thousands of years. And now is just the perfect time for him to activate his trap card, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He has Mahito's curse technique. He has Gojo sealed. And that's the main 2 points of what happens next for the either everyone has powers or no one has power. Talking about location, we find out that there are people still working in the culling games together to try for their own fit of survival. And while Yuji is meeting up with a person or trying to meet up with a person that believes in absolute justice for everyone on Earth, he is law and order defined, and wants the truth and wants people to be able to survive based on their own merits. So this guy gets kicked in the nuts. Great job. And this is the Crossroads implication. The vision of Crossroads. This is a lot of what JJK is just these choices that are made. And it seems like a random occurrence, but at the end, it's orchestrated to a certain degree. But we have the introduction of a new main character, or main-ish character in Higuruma. And this is a spotlight by this picture on the Japanese justice system and how fucked up it can be to just be a regular human in the world where these things are happening and you make small choices that affect your life to such a massive degree that you could be in jail for the rest of your life. We find out that Higuruma is trying to find justice for this kid who is just working in what is effectively a corporate village. He has free rent, but he is working for nothing. They give him food and he is a cog in the wheel. Because of money, because of corruption, because of all of these different things, this young man's life is destroyed, and it's like needlessly destroyed. He wasn't the one, and they just needed somebody to blame. And it's just, Jujutsu Kaisen does this a lot. From here on out, there's a lot of spotlights. I mean, from the Shibuya arc, there's a lot of spotlights on society, traditional values, all of these things as a whole, religion, all of this stuff. And this is why I love Jujutsu Kaisen, is it's not just a cool show with people throwing hands. I mean, Yuji is the captain of hand throwing. But like, all of these values get put under scrutiny throughout the show and dismantled and sometimes reassembled in a better form or whatever it is. Sukuna is might makes right. Kashimo is right, might makes right. Whereas Higuruma is like, hey, this is justice. Yuji is the ultimate, I will take on all burdens of everyone around me just so that they can survive, which not a lot of people would get involved with, right? Like, we could see in shows like Gantz. It's very rare that a lot of human beings will go out of their way to save the life of another human being, whether or not it costs their own. And Gantz, I feel like, goes in a different direction, but at least with JJK, we have some semblance of answers to those questions. We have a look at mental health later on with what happens to Megami in a very far degree, and what power and greed does to people. And so Higuruma is introduced. Takaba was lightly introduced earlier. I don't know if we have a lot more Takaba in this part 1, but I think in part 2 we'll get a bunch. And the kid, life sentence. Anyways, they show the Lady of Justice and Higuruma finally having his moment. They show all the things that Yuji has done. And this is a big part of Higuruma's power and the fault in it here. Like, Greg, like you said earlier.
Yeah, paper guy. Just wearing paper.
He's wearing receipts.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. He's wearing paper. Reggie's fucking stupid. But you see the point of Yuji believes that he's the reason that Sukuna basically was able to do all this destruction in Shibuya. And we see the first thing that happens with Higuruma and Yuji's battle is domain expansion immediately. And he's like, you're going to fucking jail, dude. It's the kid. We know Yuji isn't at fault for this, but he will take the burden on for himself as long as it helps his friends and helps further the goal of saving others' lives. And this is the fear we have for the main character. He will continue to tear himself down as long as it builds up those around him. And Higuruma is putting a light to that as well. He's like, dude, at this point, like, I just want to see what happens because I'm so fucking out of my element. I've been a lawyer, and while I've been thrown all these cases that are unsolvable or just, falsely accused.
Yeah, basically.
Unwinnable. Yeah, and he is in the tub in a reference to the other side. What could be assumed as nearly suicidal, where he is touching into that realm of the water that they keep implying, where he keeps like, we have Mai walking into the water. We have the water between China and Japan being shown as the other side and them talking about that. It's all of this coming to a head. The world is falling apart around these people. This is an insane event where Jujutsu society is at war with humanity, and there is no way humanity could win. And they are a pawn in the greater scheme of things. Jujutsu High, the Jujutsu society that Jujutsu High has created, is, for all intents and purposes, in complete flux. All these power players are here asserting their dominance, all at the same time. I love the way it goes. And you have, yes, the guillotines in the background symbolizing France and the justice and the people rising up against oligarchy, and nobody wants to get sent to the malevolent kitchen. There's a lot of knives there, and you get cut. there a lot. This fucking scene at the end, oh my god, bonerific. Hard the entire time. This is the culmination of what I feel like is the importance of what Jujutsu Kaisen, the spotlight it shows on everything. We will get explained where he is. If you want me to spoil it for you, obviously, friends.
No, the series is still going, or season 3 is still going. I mean,
right.
So,
but I think we'll see in the next episode where he is. But obviously, he's in front of he's not speak. First of all, you see, he's not speaking Japanese to these people. He's speaking another language. They have the translation in Japanese at the bottom. You don't hear him say anything. It's implied he's speaking another language. And you could see from the people at the table that it's very similar to something that we see all throughout history. He potentially is at the UN. He's potentially at the American government. He is somewhere of incredible importance. And he's basically like about to... Japan already knows about cursed energy now. It's been 18 days. And whether or not the entire world knows what's going on in Japan, they're about to. So this is what's so cool to me. I love JJK so much. He's been playing games since thousands of years ago, and the final pieces have been put into play, and here we are.
No, I mean, this clears up a lot of stuff for me. So I think we can move to the last part here, where I did some legwork and I was looking at reviews of JJK. Obviously, if we look at my anime list, I mean, the movie is an 8.3. The show first season is an 8.5. Season 2 is an 8.7. And then the current airing at Culling Games is an 8.5. So obviously, it's very well received, JJK as a whole. Mm-hmm. But I was going through the reviews and kind of just grouped them together into what I saw. So we'll start with the negatives here. Okay. Basically, what I saw a lot of negative reviews is that JJK is overrated. It is overhyped. Anime that consists of nothing but action. So how would you respond to someone saying that if you were at the bar DJing and someone came up and was like, hey, can you play Despacito? By the way, this is how I feel about JJK.
It's like this. There's so much beautiful music in the world. There's so much wonderful experience in the world. If you don't like this particular thing, that's okay. But there's a great deal you don't understand about why it's culturally relevant and why it's celebrated as it is. Now, I hate Despacito as a song. I don't enjoy it for a multitude of reasons. But I understand the cultural relevance of why Despacito is so important for music. American music is generally what has dominated a lot of different charts, and especially we look at globally, like Kanye being a cultural icon in various different ways, Justin Bieber being a worldwide phenomenon, Drake being a worldwide phenomenon, Kendrick Lamar being so important here in the US, but not as much abroad. How often do Americans listen to other music from around the world? It's not very often.
J-pop is big, but other than
that's the closest thing we have, right? And that's just a recency thing. Despacito was world music, in Bad Bunny being the biggest star around the world at the time, but not in America, even though he was born in America. Puerto Rico being American. It is an American colony. Justin Bieber then, a American and worldwide icon, attaching his name to Bad Bunny, or to Latin music in general, all coming to a head, where we have a #1 hit in America that is zero English, right? Other than Justin Bieber's part, which he attaches himself to. If I were to talk to somebody that says JJK is overrated and it's just about fights, there's a lot more to it. And I would say if you don't enjoy it, you won't enjoy delving deep into it and getting your hands dirty with the storyline of JJK and why there's so many things it touches on and so many key points in the story and little breadcrumbs. And I get that also that you're kind of on that side, Greg, you know what I mean? You don't enjoy JJK like I do, but I'm a super fan to a certain extent of it. That's what I would say. It's okay to not enjoy JJK. It's okay to not enjoy Attack on Titan. It's okay to not enjoy One Piece. It's okay to not enjoy Naruto. All of these things. But without the significance of understanding like why they are what they are and what they bring to the culture and what they show and bring a spotlight to Naruto with its action scenes and its storylines within its characters, Kakashi and Sasuke and the brotherly love of Naruto and Sasuke and all this stuff. You're just gonna be like, yeah, you could say this about anything. Why do people like Schitt's Creek? Why do people like Family Guy? Why do people like
Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones, yeah. I was gonna say, why do people even like Love is Blind? Like, sometimes it's just not for you. And that's okay. Don't tear down the things that you don't understand just because you have a microphone. In the world of the internet age, everybody has a megaphone that you could just yell into, and you could find anybody that agrees with you on any subject matter you want, including flat earth and all of these things. You could find any community you want. Why would you want to tear down this one? Like I said, I don't like Despacito. I don't think it's a good song, but I understand the cultural relevance of it, and I won't shit on it for that. I would say to people that have a negative thought of JJK, they have very small fight scenes, like especially if so far in season 3, it's very much like boom, 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 everything happens really quickly, and it's easy to get lost. I would say like season 2 has a lot of fight scenes in it that are relevant to the storyline beyond just cool flashing lights. And I understand that it's a lot to take on.
I think that's the big thing is on the surface, like I understand why people would say overrated, overhyped, and that sort of thing. And I think for me, I guess I do kind of fall into that camp a little bit. Not like I feel like as negative as some of these other reviews were, but I think with JJK, I didn't necessarily like understand the story. And this actually has helped a lot to get me up to speed on what JJK is about. But I think the problem with it is it's hard to get all of these details if you're just watching the show. I feel like a lot of this stuff it's kind of like Evangelion too, I guess, because like now you have all of these ideas of like what things are and what things mean and the relevance behind what those things are. And the reason why with the Mai Maki wheat thin thing, I'm like, you know, they made it seem like it's this like I should have known what was going on with the sisters. I do remember Mai from season 1 like shooting bullets because like, you know, her cursed energy thing, and I remember Maki batting the bullets out of the air with her sword and shit. But then I'm like, well, why does this matter? Like, why is this a big deal? And even in season 3, when I do finally see this end season with the two sisters, one dying to basically make the other one whole or whatever, I guess the gravity of the situation didn't hit me because I guess I didn't pick it up via watching the story. Now, if I like read the manga or if I was active on forums and then people were explaining stuff to me, like this episode of the podcast, like it makes way more sense and I understand it. And I'm like, wow, okay, that seems cooler than what I originally thought it was, because maybe I felt like I didn't get enough of the story building elements through the anime as a whole. And I think maybe that might be where people are being like, I don't get it. It's just action. Like the story plots, like there's holes. Like it doesn't make any sense.
What I will say is the original release schedule of a manga is completely different than the release schedule of anime. We're waiting years in between these storylines to continue. And it's really hard when you're telling a story of a manga where all these things happen and you're able to be like, oh, next week I get to read this next chapter. I have a week to absorb what happened and then go back to it because I'm excited about this book. It's vastly different from I have to wait 2 years in between season 1 and season 2, and then a year in between season 2 and season 3 part 1. And if you don't care, you're not going to then go back and watch all of it going up and pick up all those things that you missed out on. Because like you have all of the tools, like the show gives you these tools in certain situations. With the Kenjaku and Geto thing where he grabs his own throat, I understand that not a lot of people got that. But in a general sense, most of what you see in the show is a breadcrumb given to you from an earlier standpoint or an earlier thing that happens. And it's not like we don't meet Yuji's classmates. They are given names originally when they're introduced. They just don't exist for 3 years in our heads until this moment when Kenjaku walks over and says, "Thank you for taking care of my son." Whereas in the manga, that's like maybe a year between those happening, but you're also keeping up with the storyline every single fucking week. You know what I mean? And you have this physical thing in your hand, usually when you're reading manga. That also is a medium that I feel like gets lost in this as well. The people that understand JJK, or the people that investigate these shows, JJK, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, all of this stuff, the people that are super fans and disseminating information, we're all just analyzing fucking like fiction. You know what I mean? And that's what's exciting about it, is like, this is niche. You could read 1,000,000 mangas and not understand any of them. You could watch 1,000,000 TV shows and not understand anything at all. It could all just be fluff to entertain you for the moments. And I think this is why we have these other things that happen in other mediums, like gaming, the gaming sphere, where you have a game come out like High Guard. We know nothing about this game before it's announced. It has a bad announcement, and you have this development team that was given an incredible amount of money, and they probably had a pipeline of like how they were going to release content. They're really, like, this development team really believes in this game, and they just missed the mark. And now it's sunsetting within like 4 months of its release, which is crazy for $300 million to just be pissed into the wind. We don't know what happened. Another example, Ashes of Creation. Whether or not it's a good game on its own merits, there's a lot of drama behind it. It's had 7 to 10 years of development time, all of these things. There's so much that we don't know. And I understand from the perspective of someone that's just consuming the content for what it is in front of them. Like, JJK could seem vastly overrated. There are some parts that are dumb as shit. Some of the things I was explaining here, they're fucking silly, man. It's like, it's nonsensical. It's a story. It's not for everybody. And you don't have to enjoy it. I hope you find something that you're as passionate about as I am about gaming, or about JJK, or anime, or whatever it is. And I hope you have the best time. You know what I mean? That's what it is at the end of the day.
I think that's how a lot of these, because I'm just kind of going through the rest of the things I wrote, and a lot of them are more or less bordering on what I just said. But yeah, I mean, it's tough, I think, because if you don't understand the thing, and the thing isn't necessarily helping you understand what it is, I can see how someone would rate it lower.
I don't think Evangelion's a good story.
Yeah,
I'll be real with you. Like, I think it's like, you're like, okay, this seems really cool, and then it goes fucking completely off the rails, and you're like, what the fuck did I just watch? But there are literal college classes that are like, hey, I'm a savant in terms of this show. I've investigated all mediums of this fucking thing, from the books, the light novels, the shows. I'm going to explain it all to you and teach you why, if you don't like it, you can still not like it, but why it's culturally relevant. You just got to chalk it up and be like, I still like it, I enjoy it, and just keep it pushing. It sucks that you didn't enjoy the show, or, you know, the manga, or whatever it is. I don't have any like ill will towards those people, but like I said, I hope they find something that they do enjoy as much as I enjoy this.
So the positive reviews, more or less, were saying Gege's art style brings a lot from the manga to the anime. The characters have to evolve and adapt to different situations, and you can feel the pressure the characters are under, and anyone can die at any time. And story plot moves along briskly, and you don't get bored, and the casts of characters are easy to like. Also, the animation. So basically, all of the good reviews were talking about the animation in the story having balance between deep emotion, humor, and dark moments. What are your thoughts?
I agree, because like, we look outside here and you have like, dude, the world still exists in this incredible devastation. The world is still moving. Humans are basically just ants in this massive fucking titans doing incredible magic and shit like that, but they're still trying to just survive. People are given a choice in a dream to get out of this. In this, like, it's like if a nuke was dropped on your area and like 2 days before they're like, hey, you should move. This shit's going crazy, right? I think that them showing the dynamic of what impact of all of this is, while still being able to show the lighthearted nature of Yuji. I mean, he literally goes to a fight club and he's fucking like amped to fight people. because he just wants to fucking scrap. He loves that shit. And you get that lighthearted side of it. You get the interactions with Panda, even though Panda just lost his father figure, and I mean, you could say father as well. He's like, we have to continue on. We have to keep going. And you have like these visually, just looking at a building. It's a pretty cool animation of them walking in to go see Higuruma. I would give this an incredibly positive review because I love this. I will be honest with you guys, I didn't watch anime for a while. There was like a good 5 to 8 year gap in which I wasn't really watching a lot of shows. And what gets me excited about watching shows again is JJK. I like Demon Slayer. I like Hell's Paradise. I really like Chainsaw Man. I think like of the two, Chainsaw Man's right under JJK for me because it's, again, dealing with societal issues. But this is how I've grown as a person. Now, also, what we experience on the internet is like a 12-year-old that doesn't understand the greater implications of the world that he's been born into has the same level of typing ability and opinion as somebody who is a fucking doctorate in any sort of field. That 12-year-old can type on the internet whatever limited knowledge he has, and in the grand scheme of the internet, a doctor could be like, hey, what you're saying is just completely wrong. But what goes viral is the 12-year-old's opinion of the world because it's ridiculous and whatever it is. Just the same way as the reviews for JJK, negative or positive. Now, I agree with more of the positive side of it because I do think that it's a beautiful show. I do think that the manga translates really well to an animated format. I do think it's a beautiful show to watch. We get so many scenes that are light and dark, and the difference between and excitement and action and sorrow. Like, we get everything in this show. It's ridiculous in its form.
This is a good exercise because I think I understand a little bit more about the divide between like anime only people like myself and hybrid manga anime watchers to just straight up manga readers, and how the opinions can, I guess, butt heads with each other.
I've seen people shit on this scene actually quite a bit. And while I understand where they're coming from, it is a one-shot scene. If you guys are watching on YouTube or on Spotify or whatever, we're talking about Akari and Yuji meeting for the first time. And like, to me, this has a lot of symbolism in it. In whether or not I'm overanalyzing it and trying to give something credence where it needs none, and it's just like, oh, this is just like they're in a room and it's a one shot. The reason they took this shot and the reason they then later have different action shots is that it's supposed to be like you have Yuji walking into a dark room where someone was disowned from society, but they still look at what's happening in the world that they've created, and it's all white. We don't see anything on the screen. We look at Hikari looking at the light and watching from afar while he sits on his dark couch. Yuji, the light in the show, walks in and starts trying to bring him back to being able to be a normal person that's accepted in society. That's that scene to me. I assume to other people, like, they could just be like, yeah, this is just weird. This is a weird scene.
If you get an anime only watcher, so like myself, and you stick me in a room with manga readers, I feel like I'm at a disadvantage a bit in the conversation because obviously they are farther along in the story. They have more information than I do. And if, depending on the series or whatever, the manga could have more information than the anime did because of how they had to adapt it. And I feel like there is a little bit of a rift in terms of opinion of the other person, where I feel like anime only viewers kind of get more shit on than manga readers, because I don't know if it's some sort of perception that you don't care as much about the series as we do because we're the ones keeping up with it weekly by reading the manga, while you are waiting 2-3 years for the next series to come out or the next season to come out, and you're losing, all of this information that you could be getting right now if you actually cared. And after having this discussion, it became a little more apparent to me of why that rift exists. Not necessarily that it should exist. I don't think it should, or, those opinions between anime only versus manga readers there should even be a divide at all. But now I guess I'm kind of understanding more of the negative reviews and then how people can get lost because of the lack of information, or even you just forget shit. Like I fucking forgot shit. I mean, I was pretty impressed. I fucking recalled season 1 JJK as well as I did.
We literally almost skipped over the entire Maharaga fight in season 2, right? Of like why that's important to Kusakabe is incredibly important to that too. And I didn't even get into why he's, like him actually being there and like risking himself for a second. He's like the mixture between Yuji and like characters that don't give a fuck, because he really doesn't give a fuck. But if he's put into the situation where he has to help, he's there to help. But like, I think that you could talk about that with any medium. Like, we look at the people that only read Game of Thrones versus the people that have read the books and watched the show versus the people that have only watched the show. And obviously, like, you get so much more information because you have the physical thing in your hand, or you're reading it on your phone, or whatever it is, and you're able to analyze it at your pace. Whereas, like, I stopped the show to take screenshots, but I've also read the manga. And then I'm now this other third thing that is now making a hyper analytical piece about why I love this show.
Because like other animes that I can think of that I know that I've said on the podcast before that like I don't get it. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe I'm missing information because I don't read the light novel or the manga, right? So, I mean, you could look at ReZero. That's a big one where I think a lot of people like it and are super into it. But I'm, the one that's kind of sitting at I don't know why the hell people like this show. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. And it was actually a chore for me to watch ReZero and like get into it. But this could be a JJK negative review situation where there's all of this information that makes this story what it is, but the anime is not doing a good enough job in relaying that information to me just from the anime. And I'm missing so many parts just because I don't read the manga.
I mean, if you went back and watched ReZero again and you're like, I'm going to give it a second chance, maybe you enjoy it more. But maybe you digest information differently than the rest of us. And that's the whole point of like mediums and artwork in general, is that Picasso is not Picasso because he is for everyone. But you recognize his artistry. Would I hang Picasso in my house? No, I don't give a fuck. But I understand his cultural relevance to artwork as a whole and why it was this renaissance of art. It's that. Like, Dragon Ball is a terrible show. Objectively. A mediocre... I shouldn't say objectively. Opinion, okay? Nothing happens in Dragon Ball that's all that important. Yeah, people fight, and it's like, yeah, that shit was sick, dude. I can't wait for them people to beat each other up next week. But if you know about the cultural relevance of what Dragon Ball is, especially to American culture and outside of America that is not Japan, like talking about Latin countries, like how it's like the only anime that we really got for a long time. And that's what people got ingratiated into anime with. It's that. But now we have a further spotlight on it with the internet. Ishura is not for me or Greg, but there are people that love and will ride or die for Ishura.
I think that's another one too. Like, you have to care about it enough to like search for the information.
That's what I love about JJK though, is that even people that have just watched the anime will like it to a certain extent and then want to search out the rest of the information or rewatch it to get the rest of their information or whatever it is. And the anime does a great job of adapting the manga and filling in some extra blanks that the manga doesn't have. That scene of Kenjaku and the other kid is not in the manga, but I will say that I do not remember that happening, and that is an incredible fill-in for me because I know about what the death paintings are. I know from reading the manga about what Kenjaku's plan is. I know about all that stuff. And that little crumb of information was just like ooh, thank you for that. Thank you for bringing me in a little bit earlier than I would be and giving me also something that these now anime watchers can now think about a little bit more. Why did he say that? I love this. I love this medium.
Thanks everyone for joining us on this journey of JJK. Hopefully you learned something. I definitely learned something about JJK, and now I think I will continue watching the rest of this season with a new lens and appreciate it a little bit more. But Visit it-aesthetics.com to get your JJK shirts. They have new drops that you can look at and purchase using promo code TABC10 at checkout for 10% off of your order, or TABC5 for a stacking $5 off coupon on whatever deal they are running at the time. And visit gamersups.gg and use promo code DJ Montague for your caffeine and non-caffeinated needs, or snacking needs, or peripheral computer needs, and some other stuff. Visit gamersups.gg. You can listen to more podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you should see us if you search for the Anime Book Club podcast. You can also visit us online at theanimebookclub.com.
A lot of the new stuff on IT Aesthetics are JJK drops, new Gojo shirt, new Maki shirt, new Maharaga shirt, 2 new Maki shirts, actually, a couple new Maharaga shirts, and a Higuruma shirt that goes hard as fuck, and a Yuta shirt that I'm not a big fan of, but man, they got a lot of really cool shit. Some new free rent stuff. Go check it out. Use our codes. Thank you guys once again. Moral of the story: respect your elders, but analyze the information they're giving you. You are a new being in the world, and while information being disseminated to you is always helpful, be open to more learning. Always try to continue to learn about you and the world around you. Be good to yourself and others. Be like Yuji in that you want to make the world a better place around you, but don't always take everything on at all times. Just be better about mental health. How about that?
And with that, we got nothing else for you except DJ Montague telling you what time it is.
I'm going to say it's time to see you later. Bye. Love you. Get home safe. You know, sometimes I say on stream, but also, Greg, you tell him goodbye.
Goodbye. And this Higuruma shirt is pretty sick.
Yeah, this goes hard.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you, friends, for checking out the Anime Book Club podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
And if you don't want to miss the next one, follow us on the socials where we announce new episodes, content, and other cool stuff. You can also check out our anime list with our rankings and follow along with what we're currently watching and what we have watched in the past.
All the links are in the description. See you in the next one. Bye!